Ready? I would like to call the Monday, August 11th, 2025 Common Council meeting to order. Clerk Toronto, I believe you would like to make some comments regarding the link for the meeting and other expectations.
Good evening, members of the public. For audio quality, we will be muting everyone not speaking by default to maintain audio quality for council members and yourselves. If you would like to speak during the meeting on a certain agenda item or during privilege of the floor, please submit your request in the chat. Directions to do so will be listed. We ask that you provide your full name, address, and topic you are speaking on, as those are required for speakers at in-person council meetings. If you would like to be called on during the meeting to provide public input, please insert the following into the chat and you will be called on during the relevant time for public input. My name is, full name, I live at address, and would like to speak on, for, or against agenda item. You will then be given 5 minutes to speak. Please be sure to unmute yourself prior to giving your remarks. Thank you.
All right, thank you. On the agenda it has Jay Dixon from Huntley Memorial Baptist Church is supposed to do invocation. He had a family emergency. So if you all will stand, and we'll bow our heads. Let us pray. Gracious God, we thank you for this day and the opportunity to serve the people of South Bend. Lord, we ask that for your guidance as we gather and discuss matters that impact the lives of our neighbors, our families, and our community. Grant us the wisdom to make decisions that are fair, compassion to consider every voice, and courage to act in the best interest of all. May our words tonight be respectful, our actions be just, and our hearts remain focused on unity and progress for the city of South Bend. Bless this council, our city leadership, and every resident of South Bend, and let the work we do here bring peace, prosperity, and hope to our community. In your son's name we pray, amen. And now we repeat the Pledge of Allegiance. Right, Clerk Toronto, if you would, please give us a roll call.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers,
Present.
Councilmember McBride,
Present.
Councilmember Warner,
Present.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Present.
Councilmember Nisgowsky,
Present.
Councilmember White,
Present.
Councilmember Dr. Davis,
Present.
Vice President Thomas Morgan,
Present.
President Lee,
Present.
all 9 present.
All right, we will now have a report from the Subcommittee on Minutes for July 28th, 2025.
To the Common Council of the City of South Bend, the subcommittee has inspected the minutes of the July 28th, 2025 meeting of the council and found them to be correct. Therefore, we recommend the same be approved.
Motion to approve.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, we got to do, oh, that's right. Ms. White is online. All right, we'll do a roll call vote.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Aye.
Councilmember McBride,
Aye.
Councilmember Warner,
Aye.
Councilmember Nisgowsky,
Aye.
Councilmember Dr. Davis,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers,
Aye.
Vice President Thomas Morgan,
Aye.
President Lee,
Aye.
9 ayes.
All right, minutes for July 28th have now been approved. All right, we got special business, and I get to come down. Tonight, we want to honor the outstanding achievements for Ms. Adriana Swanson. Would you please come up, Ms. Swanson, and your family, please? And we do want to thank Mr. Carlos Levy for helping us to recognize this amazing young lady who's doing amazing things in track and field. And it reads, whereas the South Bend Common Council proudly recognizes individuals who exemplify excellence, determination, and serve as an inspiration to others in our community. And whereas Adriana Swanson, a student athlete at Washington High School, has demonstrated outstanding performance and commitment in the sport of track and field, bringing pride to her school, family, and the South Bend community. Whereas Adriana's achievements stand as a shining example of the talent and potential within South Bend Community School Corporation, reminding us of the many positive stories and bright futures being nurtured in our public schools. And whereas Adriana is coached by her father, Adrian Swanson, a proud 1997 graduate of Adams High School, whose guidance, mentorship, and dedications have played a vital role in her development, both on and off the track. And whereas the accomplishments of Adriana Swanson reflects the power of perseverance, strong family support, and the critical role of school athletes in shaping well-rounded, successful young leaders. Whereas the success and longevity represents the best of our community, and we thank her for all that she's done. Now, therefore, be it publicly and proudly resolved as following. The South Bend Common Council hereby honors and celebrate Adriana Swanson for her exceptional achievement in track and field and recognizes her role as a role model and beacon of hope for students throughout our community. Section 2, this recognition serves not only as a celebration of her accomplishment, but also as a platform to uplift and promote success stories within the South Bend Community School Corporation. And 3, we look forward to following your continued success in years to come. Sign and approve the first day of August 2025 in the city of South Bend, the county of St. Joe. The 11th day of August in the city of South Bend in the county of St. Joe. So at this time, I would like to have Adriana and her family. Father, if you guys would like to have any
I'll say
words.
something. I just want to thank everybody for your support. Steel Warehouse actually donated some money this summer for our summer venture for track and field and New Balance Nationals. So I want to give a warm thank you to them as well, and everybody else that supported us. It's a long road still. We have a lot more work to do, and we appreciate all the support and the support we're going to get.
I'd like to second that, but I'd also like to thank the South Bend Police Department for being there and getting us to our destination safely to even make this being possible.
All right.
Council members, would you, starting with the 3rd District Representative Sharon McBride?
Thank you. Congratulations on your success and many more to come. We are proud of you as a city and even go as far as the entire state. You have made us proud and continue to do so with your athletic and academic achievements. So I want to say thank you for that. And to the parents, great job and the leadership and support of supporting your daughter. And I see great and bright things for your future. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, yes, congratulations to you and to your parents for the wonderful achievements that you've made and the achievements that are yet to come. It takes a lot of work. I used to run track and field myself back in the day when I was in high school. So I know it's a lot of work. And it's great to see the great things that the South Bend Community School Corporation is producing. And I just wish you all the best on your future endeavors.
Thank you.
I do add to everyone else's congratulations. Congratulations to you on this amazing accomplishment. And really look forward to seeing what's ahead in your future. And we'll be watching you with pride for sure. I also do want to acknowledge our South Bend's acting superintendent of South Bend Community School Corporation, Superintendent Mansour Aid, who is in the audience.
All right.
Great job. Keep striding. Use that work ethic all through life. It'll serve you very well. Congratulations.
It's an honor and a blessing to see you and your family. We are all a part of your village to help lift you up to victory, and you helped to make us shine. And so I'm so happy to see you all today. Thanks for coming. Thanks for being her parents, and thanks for making your parents shine and just representing us all in the way that you do. And thank you for representing the South Bend schools. I work at South Bend schools, and you make us so proud to be part of South Bend schools. Like, go for it.
Thank you, Adrian. I am bursting with pride from one hurdler to another hurdler. You are carrying on a legacy. This young woman is a third generation hurdler. I ran with her father, her grandfather, our grandfather at John Adams High School. Your mom, your dad, the whole family is an example to our community, and we're so proud of you. You need anything, you can call on Sherry Bolden Simpson. And remember Kathy too. Okay, we're so proud of you.
Good evening. I'd like to say congratulations to you and your family. Keep up the good work, and I'm going to ask you to get yourself a role model and go from there. And one of my role models back in the day was Wilma Rudolph. So read up on her, check her out, okay? And then I expect to one day to hear you topping her, okay? All right, good luck.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Let's give her a hand. State champion, third generation. And now, council members, will we come down and take a picture with her real quick?
Forgot me.
I still launch on
We are certainly very happy for the that family and young lady. And again, you have to admire somebody who gets out on the track and run. I was telling somebody the other day, there's nothing that makes me feel like getting up running. So it's a special calling. All right, now I will now entertain a motion to resolve to the committee of the whole.
So moved.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Clerk Toronto, please call the roll.
Councilmember McBride,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Aye.
Councilmember Warner,
Aye.
Councilmember Niskoski,
Aye.
Councilmember Dr. Davis,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
I'm still here.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers,
Aye.
Vice President Thomas Morgan,
Aye.
President Lee.
Aye.
9 ayes.
The Committee of the Whole is now in session. This is the portion of the council's meeting where bills are given a second reading and a public hearing before a committee made up of all 9 council members. All bills set for this second reading and public hearing have previously been given a first reading and a committee hearing prior to this evening's meeting. In addition, we will hear from the chairperson of the standing committee where the bill was discussed and the results of that discussion. If the proposed ordinance is a zoning ordinance, a report from a staff member will be given. In all other situations, the formal presentation on the proposed ordinance will immediately follow the committee report. The formal presentation shall be untimed. Then members of the public shall have the opportunity to address the council in the public hearing portion. Following the public portion, the council shall then return to the discussion shall then return to the council members, where the members of the council debate, ask questions, and make motions on the bill under consideration. I kindly remind all council members to respectfully address himself or herself to the chair to be recognized prior to speaking. When two or more council members seek recognition to speak at once, the chair will name the member who shall speak first. A council member shall only be granted the right to speak a second time on the same question or issue after each member of the council has had an opportunity to speak on said issue or question. We have two bills this evening. The second bill is a zoning ordinance bill 4425, which I believe will be a bit shorter and quicker bill. So at this time, I would entertain a motion to adjust the agenda to hear the zoning bill and get that out of the way.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjust the agenda. We do need a roll call. Clerk Torado, can you do a roll call on that motion to adjust the agenda to hear Bill 4425 and then hear Bill 4325?
Councilmember Dr. Davis,
Aye.
Councilmember Nisgowsky,
Aye.
Councilmember Good Rogers, Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember McBride,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Aye.
Councilmember Warner,
Aye.
Vice President Thomas Morgan, President Lee.
Aye.
9 ayes.
Thank you. With that, we will first hear 4425. Clerk Torado, will you give Bill 4425 a second reading?
Public hearing on an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, approving a petition of the Advisory Board of Zoning Appeals for the property located at 221 North Ironwood Drive, Councilmanic District Number 4, in the City of South Bend, Indiana.
Thank you. Committee Chair Davis, is there a committee report?
Yes, Mr. Chair. The Zoning and Annexation Committee met this afternoon, and we bring Bill 4425 to the full council with a favorable recommendation.
Thank you. At this time, we'll go to staff member for a presentation. I ask that you please state the name and address and present the key points of the bill.
Thank you. Good evening. Let's go back here. Good evening, council members. My name is Brian Killen, zoning administrator on the 14th floor of this building. I appreciate your kindness allowing us to go first and redoing the agenda a bit. I'm here presenting a use variance. I believe it was said special exception, but it's actually a use variance to for 221 Ironwood Drive, heard by the committee earlier with a favorable recommendation. So the petitioner intends to, is requesting to have a home occupation as a nail salon under the standards of home occupation found in the city's zoning code. The use variance would permit personal care and services, beauty shop, barbershop, beauty shop and barber activities. There are actually 12 standards in the home occupation for in the urban U1 district, which allow accessory uses, which would mitigate any potential nuisances that might arise from having a type of personal care service being done from one's home. One requirement would be that no more than one client can be serviced or instructed at any time. The applicant also intends to establish, and this is the property looking west from Ironwood. The applicant intends to establish an accessory structure there in orange, Given the limitations of building standards, they're also going to remove as marked the 2 other accessory structures. And then there'll be the primary residence and the new accessory structure, which will allow for the home occupation being requested. The foot traffic, and in terms of concern about traffic, foot traffic and motor vehicle activity should be limited because of the use and restrictions on home occupation to one client or one person be instructed at any given time. Again, the existing standards for home occupation are strong enough, we believe, in the zoning code to curtail any perceived nuisances that might be associated with this use variance, particularly the one at a time notion of client service. Similar to what's already being permitted under home occupations such as artistic studio or dressmaking, tailoring, that type of thing. So again, the committee earlier sent along a favorable recommendation regarding the petition, and I'll yield there.
Thank you. So with that, we have our petitioners. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening, good evening.
So we're going to start with your name and address, and then anything you'd like to add beyond what the staff reported.
My name's Adam Lindback. This is Carly Hamilton, owner and operator of Polish Nail Spa, and we live at 221 North Ironwood Drive. I don't have a ton to add beyond what Mr. Bryan said, but I just want to restate kind of the catalyst for this variance is financially commercial properties extend upwards of $800 to $1,200 a month, and it's not feasible for her business model of one chair, just her in a salon setting. So that's kind of the catalyst for this, and I appreciate you guys' time and consideration.
Thank you. Anything you'd like to add?
That's it.
Okay. Council members, any preliminary questions?
I have a question.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers.
I didn't hear you very well. Did you say there was one chair?
Correct. Yes, just one chair, one client at a time.
Oh, okay. That's small business. I would think you want at least 2 chairs
Well,
and 2
technically
people at a
it's my
time.
petty chair, so then I'm at the petty chair, and then if I'm at my nail table, it's me too. So it's at 2 different stations depending on what service we're doing, but 1 chair, 1 client type of deal.
Well, I want you to be ready in case if I drop in.
Hey, girl.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
go ahead.
so good luck.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Councilmember Lee.
Are you required, will you have to have any kind of plumbing in that?
Yes, so we're getting quotes and everything currently to get a bathroom ran with a sink to the structure, yes.
And the structure would be fully up to all plumbing codes, electrical codes, building codes, all of that, all the good stuff too.
And then, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
And then easily like reconvertible, so say you wanted it back to a garden shed or a she shed or a mother-in-law suite temporarily, that way you'd have access for that too.
Smart.
That was addressed in the committee hearing. It will have to comply with all the building code requirements for any other accessory dwelling unit. As far as
You did share this in committee, but I thought it was important to reiterate for the full council, but could you share your hours of
Oh, yes,
operation?
sorry, I usually don't typically work past 6 PM. If it's a special request, typically maybe till 7:30, but usually not, usually about 6 PM.
So Councilwoman Gooden Rogers, you're going to have to get there before 6.
Call ahead.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you for coming and doing this the right way. I know some people try to sneak and do
Gotta
it.
backtrack later.
Yeah. I have 2 questions. Do you do dip with the nails?
No, I do
Oh.
similar services, but not dip.
Okay. And the second question, have you spoken to your neighbors about this? Are they aware?
I've not talked to a lot of them personally. Our hours don't mesh too greatly, but I definitely, I would be open to talking to them. Yes,
Okay. Just let them know what's going on.
for sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Get that dip. I like that. Pay a lot for it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other council members? Councilmember White, any questions?
No, I don't have any. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm going to try not to forget about you over there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Seeing none, at this time, we will go to the public hearing portion. Members of the public shall have the opportunity to address the council, beginning with members of the public in favor of the bill, each limited to 5 minutes, and then going to members of the public against the bill, again, limited to 5 minutes. Each member of the public shall state his or her name and residential address. Excuse me. Is there anyone from the public wishing to speak in favor of Bill 4425, either in person or online at this time?
I do not see any members of the public in person or online wishing to speak in favor of the bill.
Okay, we'll go to those against. Is there anyone in the public wishing to speak against Bill 4425 at this time, either in person or online?
I do not see any members of the public in person or online wishing to speak in opposition of the bill.
Okay, at this point, the public hearing on the bill is closed. We will now return back to the council. Any further questions, comments? Not, I would entertain a motion.
Motion to bring Bill 4425 to the full council to favor a recommendation for the third reading.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to send it forward with a favorable recommendation. Clerk Torado, can you please do a roll call on that motion for 4425?
Councilmember Nisgowsky,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers,
Aye.
Councilmember McBride,
Aye.
Councilmember Dr. Davis,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Aye.
Councilmember Warner,
Aye.
Vice President Thomas Morgan,
Aye.
President Lee,
Aye.
9 ayes.
Thank you. Bill 4425 will go forward with a favorable recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Palmer, I'm going to lean on you a little bit. We're going to go back to 4325. I believe we've done a second reading. Is that correct?
We've done the second reading and we've had public
And-
hearing.
And we've had bill presentation,
Correct.
okay, and public hearing. So, and then,
Public hearing was closed at the end of the last, or during the committee of the whole,
okay,
at the last meeting.
thank you for confirmation. So to this point, Bill 4325, we've had, this now is the fifth meeting. We've had 5 hours of public hearing and testimony, 3 opportunities for public input. And I believe, Ms. Gotch can correct me, I think we had 13 individuals who've spoken in public meetings on the bill. We're not going to go back to do a staff presentation on the bill and cover all of those points that have been presented 4 times previously. I know,
Chair,
Mr. President Lee, I know you have something you'd like to say.
I'd like to move to amend Bill 43-25 as follow. In the section where it says fees, setting the fee for the production of law enforcement body worn camera recordings, change the hourly rate from $50 per hour to $25 an hour. And then change the maximum cap from $150 to $75 per video. And then also in section 22010 of the municipal code, insert a new subsection that says, in I, the public records request form for law enforcement recording shall include the following statement. Upon the filing of a complaint by a resident with the Community Police Review Board, the board director will review all videos relevant to the complaint. And then also a 1-year review clause adding a provision stating that the fee for the law enforcement recording shall be reviewed after 1 year. After 1 year, we'll go back and see if it's if it's been successful.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to repeat your motion.
Okay. I make a motion that we change the fee schedule for Bill 43-25, going from $50 per hour to $25 per hour, and change the maximum cap for $150 to $75 per video.
Point of information. With the nature of all the amount of changes, especially with the fee change and the year request and some other things, I think it would be only appropriate for us to look at that, reflect on it, and then bring that back for a vote, because that's changes a lot, and that helps us to be able to look at that, because some of those key issues were not a part of the public. Well, none of those key issues were a part of the public discussion, nor the presentation from the administration. And with that major of a change, I would request that we would look at that and bringing that back in 2 weeks.
Okay, so we're gonna go back to his motion
Mhm.
and finish his motion. And we'll address your concerns.
Okay.
Everybody will have their opportunities.
Mhm.
Okay. So you were repeating your motion.
Yeah.
Can you please repeat your motion for all the council members?
Right, so that was to change the $50 per hour to $25 per hour, change the maximum from 150 to 75. We've had so much discussion on it. And this is a way of us working together to try to compromise.
Okay,
And
let's just stick to the motion.
okay,
Good.
and-
We'll get to the discussion on the motion. I want to make sure everybody understands the motion and we're very clear on the motion.
And then in the section 210, in the I section of the public records request form, that law enforcement recording shall include the following statement. Upon the filing of a complaint by a resident with the Community Police Review Board, the board director will review all videos relevant to the complaint. And then also the 1-year review clause. We will go back after a year, if this passes, and review how successful this has been.
Okay. So I'm going to lean on you again, Attorney Palmer.
Yes.
I think it sounds like to me, there's 3 motions here.
Correct.
One motion adjust the fees, one
To add the
adds a
public record.
clause onto the request form regarding the Community Police Review Board
Correct.
reviewing video. And then the third requires the council to review this in 1 year.
Yeah.
Is
that's
that how
correct.
what you're hearing?
And as I understand it, the 1-year time limitation would be included in the fee schedule
Yes,
itself instead of in the text of the bill.
yes.
Okay, thank you. So what we're going to do here is we're going to break them down into 3 separate motions. I think that is very logical and makes more sense. So we have a motion to amend the fee ordinance, basically cutting it in half, cutting it down to $25 an hour, capping it at $75 per recording, correct?
Yes.
Okay. At this time, do we have a second for that motion?
I second.
Okay. So now, typically Robert's rules, we do a discussion on the motion.
Correct.
Okay, we're going to address each of these separately.
Okay,
and keep
that's fine.
them very separate and distinct. So we've got motion number 1, which cuts the fee in half. Okay. Discussion on the motion. We have a motion on the table in a second. So do we have a discussion on the motion and questions? Councilmember Davis, I know you have.
Yes, thank you. In our last meeting, there was a discussion that the administration was going to bring back to us, and that was the data, because we had looked at Fort Wayne. They have done $30. Other cities have done $150. And the question was, does any of the fees help to deter the amount of requests that is happening? And the answer to our knowledge that was they were not aware of that. And then we requested some data on that, because whether it's $30, $75, or whether it's $150, we need to know whether the data supports any of the action of because the case that they made was to help reduce the amount of requests. So does $30 do it? Does $50 do it? 75 or 100? That is the key point for us. And at this present state, that is not known. I do appreciate the effort to reduce the fees, and I'm very grateful for that, to do that. But even if it's 25 or 100, we still need to know the argument that was made was this was an effort to reduce the work. So will $75 do it? And then also talked about counseling. They were going to do an increased effort of counseling people to focus in on that. So that is why I have said that I'm very open to this information. And now I think the public needs to digest it based on what we have gone through and come back in 2 weeks, since this is, all three of these motions really changed everything that we've talked about and give us the appropriate time to reflect and then make better questions, hear anything else, and then hear back from our public. Because to make these three motions without hearing from our public, I think would be a dishonor and not the best for our public. So I think they need to weigh in too.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is a motion. Correct?
No, I'm just telling you, I've made a motion yet.
Are you making a motion on that? No.
You
Okay.
just wanted to comment about it.
I would comment. Yeah. Okay. I didn't know if that was a motion
Not yet,
or.
no.
Okay. Okay. Any other?
Because I couldn't make a motion to accept it because I don't have the knowledge base. Based on, that's what I was saying. The knowledge base from our last meeting, we were going to get data.
I hear that.
So
I
that's
guess,
all.
but I heard in there a request to table it. So that's all I was wanting to table it
Oh.
2 weeks. That's what I heard
Oh,
from
got you from that point. Yeah, I can table that for 2 weeks.
So is that a motion to table it for 2
But
weeks?
does he already have a motion on top of, I can't make a motion on top of a motion though.
No.
Yes,
That's correct.
we're gonna stack motions here.
Well, if we could make a motion on top of the motion, I would like some time to consider that
Okay.
and look at that, and that would be great with me.
Okay. Do I have a second to that motion?
Second.
Okay, so we've got a motion number one. Keep track here, get your pen out, Mr. Palmer. Motion number one is to cut the fees in half. Okay. Motion number two is to table the bill in its entirety to 4325, 2 weeks, correct?
Yeah, so we can look at all the three motions.
Okay, thank you. Any further discussion on motion one or motion two?
Isn't there two other motions?
There's two more other motions coming.
But they
we're
would be
gonna-
prior to.
We're going
this
to do a
event.
whole lot of discussion.
Okay.
Again, the whole point of was trying to address the issues that people said about $50 and $150 going being excessive. And so the thought was if we, and because Fort Wayne was $30 and Indy was 90.
150.
Okay. I'm sorry, 150. I meant to say 150. It was the thought was, let's reduce it. Let's take a year, look at it, and come back and see how this has affected us. Because it's not about the transparency issue. It's about the time taken to redact videos. And so because the big issue was how much is going to cost people. And if we have now cut that in half, we're now able to, at least for a year, take a look at it and see how this is affected. And it's to help people narrow down what they want instead of saying, I want 10 videos. I just need one video.
Question?
Okay. Comment, question?
Yes. Thank you, Chair. So we're doing one. I need to hear that section 210 again. I was kept trying to write it down and everything, and I cannot
We're-
go forward
Wait.
on, I need more time, but it definitely,
Okay.
Pass that down to her.
thank you. That,
Chair.
Yes, sir.
While she's looking at that, the issue still remains. That's why I said we need to look at it, because one of the key issues that I had, whether it was $30, $75, or $150, if Jill comes at 8:05 to get the information, Jill still pays $75. If Barbara comes 2 minutes after that and asks for the same amount of information, Barbara pays $0. And so therefore, we just got to look at all of those kind of things because whoever gets there first is the one that pays the $75. You know, when I go buy eggs, if they cost $5 and the person in front of me pays for eggs $5, they pay for $5. I buy behind them, I pay $5. But with this setup, is if whoever's in front of me, they pay 75, I pay 0. If I'm in front of them, I pay $75, they pay 0 for the same item. I still think that we have to work through that because the key issue is how this whole bill was set up. This is almost a 10-year-old bill, and I think that they have had issues when they wrote it, and that whether we put 75, 155, 500, or $1, it's still interesting when it comes down to that. Right now, if you go and get $9 and pay for the disc, everybody gets it. So it still is free. And so that's an even kill. We don't have an even kill, whether it's 30, 50, or 70. So we got to work through those. That's why I'm saying we just need some more time.
Any other council members with comments on motion 1, cutting the fee in half, and motion 2, tabling the bill?
All I have to say, we have had so much public input and comment on this bill. And what I see is a compromise. And I think it's a fairly reasonable compromise. Because everybody has talked about, we need to review it, it's too high. Any records that you request, you have to pay a fee for, whether it's a marriage license, you need a copy of your birth certificate record. If you want to get something recorded, everything is a fee. And we're talking hours and hours and hours of redaction. This is reasonable. I think that it is a compromise. I also heard in one of the prior meetings that we need to, let's give it a year. Well, this gives it a year. There's a measurement in here. So I think that this compromise was a lot of the ideas from all the public hearings, from council members that are sitting here that had input. So that's just how I feel about it. I think this is a fair compromise. Let's review it for a year, see if it does what it is intended to do. Let's remember the legal department presented this bill to us. They reached out for help. They said they were underwater. This has been passed by numerous cities in our community. Our county council passed it unanimously. A number of cities has. In fact, I believe Ms. Throw stated in the testimony that there was not a city that this was brought up or presented to a council body or a legislative body where it didn't pass. So I'm just struggling to see why it's so hard to get to a compromise.
Excuse me, Mr. Davis, you'll have your turn to speak. Thank you. No, I did not say that. Thank you.
And so was President Lee's motion about the fees seconded? It was, correct?
It was seconded. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
We have a motion and a second on both of the amendments.
That's all I have. Thank you, Chair.
You're welcome. I think, so the simple reality is, this kind of goes along with what you said, is anytime something is free, you see people abusing it, people making frivolous requests, people taking more than they really need. This fee, I think, is reasonable enough to make somebody have to pony up some money to make sure that they really need what they want. And they're not asking for 19 hours of different videos from 19 different officers gumming up the system. Mr. Davis, hang on. We're going to be very respectful of each other and the public and the community, and have a discussion and debate that is respectful, that the citizens and the residents of the city of South Bend deserve. So we will all get our chance to speak. We will take our turns. Thank you. Councilmember Gooden Rogers.
Okay, I have a question. So back to the president and to Mr. Palmer. So can his motion be amended to read everybody pay the same fee, no free videos? I'm asking a question. So if I come first, however much time I need to do the video, I still pay, whether I'm first, second, third, or what. Just everybody do the same thing.
The motion can be amended, but it would be contrary to state law and declared void.
Okay, that's what I was wondering how that would work.
Yeah, because the work is done, once the work is done to edit and review that video,
Somebody's got to get the free video.
then you can't double charge for that work on that recording. So that is state law.
Because the whole point of the fees is to because of this law, whenever you have to redact video, you have to be there are privacies that have to be in place. We have to do that before they can release it to the public. Now, again, people can come and view video for free. And if you have a lawyer, your lawyer can receive it through discovery. And what the reasoning behind trying to reduce these fees was because we heard the residents say that that was exorbitant, and so we went for a compromise and to cut it in half, $25. Let's give it a year. Let's see how it goes, and then if we need to change things or if it's going well, then we'll continue it again.
Thank you. I'm
Thank
just
you.
trying to help get through this.
Okay. I'm gonna see if anybody else
Okay.
has questions or comments. And Councilmember Thomas Morgan,
Are we doing questions or comments?
questions or comments? At this point, we are in the debate and discussion portion on the bill.
Thank you. I really appreciate this discussion. It's, again, I know we've had a lot of it already, and we have done our best to listen. I previously stated this at our last council meeting, but I think it's important to say that as the council, as the fiduciary body of the city of South Bend, it is our council responsibility to steward both human and financial resources well, and as well to ensure access of services and goods to all our residents. That's a really important balance that we seek. And I want to underscore that. It's a balance that we look for. And I feel that this amendment is fair and reasonable, and being a fair and reasonable fee can bring this balance that we are seeking. So I just want to end my comments by saying that I will support a fee that is transparent and labor-based, whatever that hourly rate might be.
Thank you. Councilmember White, do you have any questions or comments on the amendments? One, cutting the fee in half, and amendment two, or motion number two, which would table the bill for 2 weeks.
Okay. I would just like to say, if I'm reading this correctly, that the ordinance shall not be effective January 1st, 2022, correct? Am I reading it correctly?
That's correct.
Correct, yeah.
And so then when you begin, and I'm going to go back to the point of discussion, and that pertains to the fee assessment. At our last meetings, I think we've had 3 or 4, that the issue was looking at the fee structure, and that some of the cities had been identified, one of which was Fort Wayne. And I'm very pleased that action has gone forward to really look at the fees, and that there be more realistic for our citizens prior to what we had at first. And then the other portion of it that I think is tied into accountability and to looking at trying to gather the data that we need to have would be that after 1 year, the passage of this section, the fee schedule, that we will go back and evaluate, which means that we need to have the various evaluation tools that we're looking at in order to effectively evaluate whether or not this bill is successful, what are some of the outcomes, and then what are some of the things that we need to look at moving forward, and try to gather that data at the end of the first year. Those are my comments.
Thank you. Councilmember Bolden Simpson.
Thank you. I see that you cut it in half, and I appreciate that. What I'm having trouble is separating this clause right here about the Community Review Board. Because we're talking about transparency has been a question, and we still have on here that only the Board of Director will review the recordings. And we still don't have board members reviewing the recordings. So,
Okay. So
I know we're
at this
not,
point, we don't have that motion on the
Okay,
table, but go
all
ahead
right.
and finish your thought.
well, it's just, it's tying to the first motion. And that's why I think we should table this and think more on it.
Thank you. Councilmember Davis?
I appreciate you coming back to me. I am glad that the gentlewoman from the 6th District, Ms. Goski, talked about marriage license being charged and other things. If a person goes in to get a marriage license and if Sherry was single, she goes and get a marriage license, then she would pay what, $100? If you were single, you'll go in, you get paid $100. Me, I'll go in to pay $100. So it's across the board. So that analogy is a consistent payment for everything else. This is not. This means that if Sherry goes in and pays the $75, the two of us get it for free. Okay? Or we go in, then she gets it for free. That is why I cannot compare. That's not apples and apples with this whole way this bill is set up. If she's the first person to pay for it, then the two of us get to go in for free. That is not the way it is with any other document you get from the county. For every other document you get from the county, whatever Jane pays, whether they Democrat, black, white, Polish, Hungarian, vote, love God, don't love God, they pay the same thing, and this person pays the same thing. So those are the issues why in the nature of this bill that was crafted, it was a fallacy. And this is not a requirement that we have to do this from the state. It's an option that we have to do. Now, there are times that the state says we have to do things, but there are also times the state gives you an option. And when you look at it, almost 10-year-old bill that was written way before some of the technology we have today, and then we apply that to 2025. I mean, I have an iPhone 16. 10 years ago, I mean, technology has changed. And we have to update ourselves on those kind of things. So we have to look at that from the standpoint. So we have to be stewards. And the thing is, Councilwoman White makes a great point. This is not going to be enacted until January 1 of 2026. So the fact is, to have to make a decision in August on a bill that is not going to be enacted September 11th, October, November, December, 4.5 to almost 5 months away from now, what's the rush? Let's get the data not after a year. Let's get the data prior to making any kind of change, whether it's $75, $150, or $35. What we asked last week, we asked for data. And that data should come prior. I need to know prior to jumping out of plane whether my parachute worked. Not after I've jumped out and then I'll say, okay, now I got the data and I'm on the ground and I'm dead. Okay, I want to know prior to, does this parachute work? And therefore, I need to have the data on that parachute, whether it's the $30 parachute, the $75 parachute, or the $150 parachute. I need some data on that before I jump out that plane. Because for me to get the data afterwards, y'all can talk about it at my funeral, but it's no good for me. And so therefore, I need some data prior to making decision. That's why I'm respectfully requesting that we have data prior to it. And this just takes a couple of days. The Fort Wayne information, as you saw, we left the meeting Wednesday. I forwarded that to you all that same night. I got the Fort Wayne information, went through all the stuff. I got it in one night. And so in 2 weeks, I think we can get the information and come back.
Thank you.
Good night.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers.
I just want to ask one more question about this. Okay.
Okay.
So it doesn't make any difference. Somebody's going to pay for the video, right? Whether I be the first one won't. Well, whether you be the second person or the third person, somebody still got to pay regardless, right?
If we go with this plan.
If we,
Correct. Yeah.
okay. That's for clarification. Okay. That's what I wanted. Okay, so.
So, okay, now we're going to move on to yes, Councilmember McBride, I'm sorry.
Hi, I just want to, thank you, Chair. Wanted to reiterate that we also talked about, I believe that we did receive some data and we talked about numbers because there was a county that was paying, or city, $90, someone else $150 and $35. And so we talked about that. And I think the fundamental difference that I see different when you're talking about differences in prices with whether a marriage license or anything in that fashion, they're not spending hours and hours and hours and hours of video and then redacting that video to produce the marriage license. So that's just the fundamental difference that I see. Listening to Dr. Davis's point is that for me, whether you paying for, whether it's a health license or a marriage license, if I am that single person who need my divorce decree, I should be the one paying for that. But from what I understand with this bill, being that it's state mandated, you can't double dip or double charge somebody for that video. So the first initial video again, and I know we've been beating a dead horse because we've been talking about this for so long, is that someone has to bear that burden, whether you're the first person, the third person, or the fifth person. And so that's just the only input that I see different.
Thank you.
Can I
So,
respond to you?
You may respond.
Thank you. The state, again, does not require us to have to do this. So it's not somebody has to foot the bill. It gives us the option. It gives us the option to choose it. And therefore, right now, we go, over the last 9 years, we pay $9 for the disc and we get it. That means everybody's on the same playing field. And so we ask for the data ahead of time. And that is the thing. And the issue of redaction taking longer, that's why we said, does charging a fee, Councilwoman Bowden Simpson asked, does council, and even we had a member of the public ask, does having a fee reduce the quest? We don't know. They didn't, the legal team did not know the answer to that. They said they would get back to us on data on that, and we haven't gotten it yet. And so the thing about it is, just because we charge a fee does not reduce that. And they're going to have to, whether we pass it or not, they're going to have to redact and spend time doing that unless we give them an extra worker, which is why I requested it to be in the budget so they can get the extra worker. This passing of the 75 to 150, 500, 1,000, or $1 does not help them in terms of reducing their caseload. We are telling the public this is going to reduce their caseload, but it's not. If I tell somebody I'm going to give you $150 to go pay groceries and you use to pay gas, that is not the right way. We are telling them this is going to reduce the caseload, but it's not. What will reduce the caseload is if the money goes to the budget. And then we add a person who either A, is a specialist in reducing the film, or an attorney who's dedicated to that. But these have, by state law, will only go to copying fees, helping us to learn more about technology with the body cams, and training. It does not go to any other faction. All of this money is already earmarked that way. We can't add it to help redact. They redact even when they come in for free. When they come in for free, those are already redacted. So they have to pay, even if you come in for free, they got to pay for redaction. Okay, the people have to redact whether you come in and sit with somebody, they got to pay because they got to do the work whether you come in for free or not. So that answer does not stop that. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. So now we got a third motion on the table. Motion 3 is the fee for law enforcement recordings shall be reviewed after 1 year of passage of this subsection to determine the effectiveness of the fee in reducing the time necessary to redact requested law enforcement recordings. Okay, I will make the second on that motion. So we have a motion now. This is motion number 3. You got that, Mr. Palmer? Okay. The fees shall be reviewed after 1 year to determine the effectiveness of the fee. Okay. Now we have another motion on the table, discussion on the motion. Any questions on motion number 3 or motion number 1 or motion number 2 at this time from council members?
The last one is the motion for the review. We need a starting base. And when you do research, you want to have a baseline. So we need to know, and then we need to compare that with other cities. So you just don't say, when does that baseline start? If it starts in January 1 of next year, and we vote on this tonight, then the baseline, are we talking about the baseline starting from January 1 through 2027? Or the baseline starts tonight, August 11th or August 11th? Because if we vote on tonight, it cannot be implemented in September, October, November, December. It won't even be implemented until at least January the 1st. And to give it to a whole year, we're looking at 2027 for us to be really realistic from that. So we need to be clear on what that is, because the bill starts on January 1. So therefore, that puts us into the year of 2027, which then if we find anything, that puts into the budget of 2028 for us to be able, the 2027 budget to prepare for the 2028 budget, because we cannot do anything until the 2028 budget, given the fact that we won't complete the year until 2027. So therefore, if we find that we have been in error, and now that error will last all 27 and almost all 28. If we get the data ahead of time, we can begin without any error as we start off. So it's better, given the timetable of when this is going to start, it is better for us to review and get it out the way now. So it's better to start something right. If you're ever going bowling, it's better to learn how to go bowling and get the skills correct than to come back to correct the skills, because it takes you longer to correct what you should have learned first. And so therefore, it's better to train or even grow a tree correctly, and then to come back and bend the tree back. So let's get it straight first, than to have to bend it in 2 years and do that.
Chair, for clarification, if there's no motions on the table, then for it starting, for it to be in the budget, so therefore it could start immediately. And then that way it could go from year to year, because if it's not in the budget, it is the ordinance, it stands implemented tonight and moving forward, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Councilmember Lee. Oh, you
Yeah.
had a finger.
Again, this is for the redaction of video. This is, since the state of Indiana makes us have to redact video, this allows them to be able to recover fees for that time. It doesn't go to the legal department, but it does go back to the fund that the cameras and all of that operate out of. So it helps to be able to defray the costs. When people said that $50 was too high, I talked to different organizations like the NAACP. I talked to individuals in the community. I asked people, if we were able to reduce those fees from $50 to $25, would that show compromise? Would that show that we're trying to meet everybody in the middle? And so that was the reason why we're proposing this. It's all of the other things that people have said. It's all about the fact I do video editing. I know how tedious and how time consuming it is. And to be able to edit video, redact video, and put it out there so that individuals can have it, which we are required by law, but we also have to make sure that it's redacted. So to be able to recoup those funds, that's why they allow for this to happen, to go back into that camera fund and to support that. So again, everyone said $50 was too high. They said $150 was exorbitant. We tried to figure out a compromise, and that was $25 and $75. Many of the videos have not been over 3 hours. So again, many of the people who would request these are insurance companies, lawyers, bloggers, individuals that a lawyer could get it through Discovery. You can view the video for free. So you're still able to see the video. You're still able to figure out what you need. But again, it helps to pinpoint what's being acted. And instead of 10 videos, it helps you to pinpoint one specific or two videos that you need.
Thank you. Councilmember White, I saw you had a hand up.
Yes,
So any
mhm.
questions on
Yes, I
motion
do.
3, which
Mhm.
would require review of the fee to determine the effectiveness of the fee after 1 year?
Okay, I think that I just want to go back and clarify. I just saw on page 3 the date, and that's why I asked if that was really the correct date that the bill, when or if passed, would go into effect. So how was that date selected? Because it doesn't have to be January the 1st, unless there's some other reasons why. And if that's not the case, then we could start looking at the valuation period a little bit differently.
Okay. Mr. Palmer, you have any idea
Mhm. Yeah, because I don't know where that date came from.
on the enactment date, Ms.
Mhm.
Ms. Throw?
Because people are going to be coming in either now, so I don't know, maybe there's a reason for that.
Any, thank you, Ms. Throw. Any rationale on the effective date?
In response to that question, the effective date was selected to start at the beginning of the
Can
year.
you speak in the microphone? We've got,
The effective date was selected to start at the beginning of the year rather than mid-year.
mid-year. Okay.
Thank you.
And that could be amended, that could be changed. So
Mhm.
that is a good point. Thank you.
Mhm.
Any questions? Any other questions? Councilmember White,
No, I'm fine.
comments? Okay. Any other council members down here on,
No. Good.
okay. Councilmember Bolden Simpson?
Not a question, but a comment. I think it goes without saying that we're dealing with a flawed state statute. Because if my initial remedy for this would be, well, insurance companies get charged something different. If you live in Florida and you want to go to IU Bloomington, you're going to pay out-of-state fees. And I cannot understand, I just want to put that out there, that we're dealing with a state statute that is going on nearly 10 years ago, and it is flawed to me. And that has us in knots. And that's why we need more time to think about it. And then with regards to data, I know, okay, so your proposal is to have the data gathering period from January 1st, 2026 to January 1st, 2027. I think the data is available now. Just we have, as you said, Councilwoman Niskowski, that other communities have adopted this. Can't we take time to see if it really had the intended purpose of reducing the request, shrinking the amount of time? I have said something about being more purposeful in counseling people when they are requesting, and to see if that would work also. Those are my comments. Still.
Thank you.
All I would say, if I may, Chair.
Councilmember Nitzgotsky, you
Thank
may
you.
reply. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, the state legislature, it was unanimous in both chambers when this was passed. And there was a lot of comment. This was crafted. It wasn't the original bill when this came before the General Assembly. And there was a lot of time and effort from both sides to come to this. The other thing, when you think more broadly in the state of Indiana, we're talking about using taxpayer money to redact videos for people to make money, namely insurance companies and attorneys. When you are in one of the smaller municipalities, they may be looking at it for a different purpose, and that is to be able to recover those so that they can use that to support their police departments. So while we're looking at it through this lens, other communities are looking at it for a much more different purpose than what we're looking at it. So I just want to remind everybody, the majority of the people that using taxpayers' dollars to redact hours and hours of videos is not individuals. That's a very minute, maybe I believe it was 30 or 20, 30 a year. Out of those, at least half of those have opportunity to get that for free. So this is to cover that 10 or so individuals or 15 individuals a year out of a city of 104,000. And I think we have worked very hard to try and come to some resolution so that we're not disenfranchising anyone. But the state assembly, there's very different views from cities why that was, and they took a lot of time coming to a unanimous vote in both chambers for this bill.
Mr. Chair, couple of things. As a school person, in the month of May, if I have 1,000, my mic seems not to be on, but if I have 1,000 people and 10 people act up or they misuse certain things, do we cancel the prom for the rest of the school? Do we punish the school for the actions of 10 people? Do we punish and charge fees for the actions of these few people that have raised all these, and now everybody else has changed? When the other 990 people have done pretty decent, but we now charge a punishment to the rest of everybody, whether it's 50, 70, and 100, because of that. Those are the concerns I have. And just because the state spent a lot of time, our state has spent a lot of time doing some interesting things. And just because you spend a lot of time does not mean that that's quality. You can spend a lot of time doing the wrong thing and a short amount of time doing the good thing. So the amount of time that you spend with something does not mean that it's great. Just because somebody's been married for 50 years doesn't mean the marriage is 50 years. Just because somebody's been married 1 year doesn't mean that everything's bad. So the time and the effort and the energy and all of those kind of things, and that we worn out, the people in our community need to understand this is a change. When they came here tonight, they did not know about the $75. They did not know about and I'm glad for the compromise, but there was more things than just the money that was issue. I wasn't just arguing about the money. We were arguing about the data. Do it work or not? If we see that these other cities have worked, then we can reach out to them. I don't know why we did just call them and reach out to them and say, hey, how's it working? How's it working in Indianapolis? How's it working in Evansville? How's it working, Gary? That's all we do. And we can get a qualitative report about what's going on, present that as a part of the package, and we move forward. But that's what we said that we were going to do last time. And now we say, well, okay, we just move. That's why I'm asking for 2 weeks, get that information, make the vote, and I'm at peace.
Okay, so now we're going to go to, we've got a fourth motion. You got your pen, Mr. Palmer? Okay, so that would be amending, adding a new subsection I, correct, on page 3, which would state, all public records request forms for law enforcement recordings shall contain the statement, upon the filing of a complaint by a resident with the Community Police Review Board, the board director will review all recordings relevant to that complaint. So we have a motion for that. Do we have a second?
Motion to table that motion to the 2 weeks.
I second the motion.
So
Which motion did you say?
The Troy's.
I'm going to,
Section I.
so Mr. Palmer, I'm going to lean on you. I don't think that Mr. Davis's motion is a valid motion to table a motion. You actually have to table a bill or a piece of legislation, correct? And we have a motion to table the entire bill.
Motion to table the entire bill for 2 weeks. Then.
We've got that motion in that second already. We'll get it.
Question on that, then I'm curious. How can we pass this motion without doing the other? So we could literally vote this one down to get to the other one.
We're going to go through each motion.
Okay.
And have a vote on them.
It's a little different, but
Then
I
that
understand.
amends the bill and changes the bill. And then if the bill is amended, then there has to be a final vote on an amended bill.
This is a little different from Robert's rules, but hey, let's roll.
Correct, Mr. Palmer?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so I did hear a second on the motion for subsection I, requiring the statement on the law enforcement recordings. Is that correct? Was that Councilmember Nitzgotsky? Did you make a second?
I did.
Okay.
Who made the motion?
I did.
Councilmember Lee made
Okay.
all of these motions.
Okay, gotcha.
We just took them and broke them up.
I
and-
understand.
For discussion purposes.
I'm at peace.
Thank you. So now, any discussion, comments, questions from council members on this requirement that the public records request form contain a statement that when you make a complaint, the Community Police Review Board Director will review all relevant recordings.
Yes.
Councilmember Davis.
It has been already established that the Community Review Board, first of all, they are out of compliance. They haven't had meetings in the last 2 months, and they are already currently out of compliance. And so I'm concerned that to give this recommendation to a board that's already out of compliance is concerning. Number two, when the Community Review Board person gets a case, he goes by and meets with the chief of police to see if he can move forward, which is also out of compliance with that issue. And third, they have not yet been given any information at all. So how do they handle all of this information when they have not even been trained to handle all of this information and everything else? And so this is all new. I think there's some training, some other issues that have to happen. And I think that they need to be in compliance and have regular meetings for them to be able to win the respect and the trust of the people of South Bend.
Thank you. Any other council members with comments on the motion regarding the statement on the request form regarding the Community Police Review Board or any of the previous motions? Council members on this end, Councilmember Walden Simpson.
Thank you. I just want to reiterate that section I says the board president will review the video, not the citizen board members that were appointed. They don't view the video. I'm concerned with that.
Thank you. Member White,
Oh, go ahead.
do you have any questions or comments?
Are you saying, Karen, asking
Yes.
me, Chair?
Yes.
Yes, I think we're in the process of, isn't the board going to be, new members will be coming on board? And I do recall that this question came up at one of our meetings about the citizen review chair and his role or her role, and that they were looking at that to see how that particular area could be expanded. But I do know at this point that we, the council, that we're in the process of really looking at who's current, how do we move forward? And I think that we could include the training, more training if it's needed.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Any other council members? Councilmember Lee.
If I'm not mistaken, I remember Lego saying that eventually, as the board is functioning the way that it should, that they would expand that opportunity where, or be willing to expand that opportunity for Citizen Police Review Board. The board could be able to view videos. So, I think that starting with the director and then as we need to expand that to the rest of the board, I think that should be the movement forward.
Thank you. Councilmember Davis.
Yes, this question, and I'm glad Councilwoman White talked about the training part of it, because that goes back to the other question that Councilwoman White brought up, and that was the start date. If the start date is January 1, it makes sense for me to see how the board can be trained between now, that's 4.5 months for them to get some training, and then starting in January 1, then they should have some clear understanding about what they're seeing, how redaction takes place, and all those instead of new people. If we make this effective now, and then next week we go over to them, that's a problem. And so I do join in the administration of the January date. The only thing difference is the January date then puts us, like I said, where the year moves us to 1 year, takes us until the 2027, which then we will do our assessment of the spring of 2027 and then make our recommendations for the 2028 board. That is why I'm really a key on making sure we start out right, because it's not as fast as we can. People need training when we're dealing with police, and it's really important because it's not these attorneys and everybody else doing. These attorneys are representing us. The insurance companies are representing the people. So the people need to be trained. And when you're dealing with a board that they did not meet in July, they did not meet in June. They have had a lot of challenges from that standpoint. So the trust there is really suspect. And I think that needs to be built first before we lay this heavy duty on a board that has been consistently out of compliance. So put this kind of responsibility on a board that's already out of compliance. They need to get back in compliance. For just like with the zoning issues, we did not want to approve things of these businesses that were out of compliance with their legal issues. If you're out of compliance with your licensing and everything and we give you business, that's dangerous. So get back in compliance and then we can do that. And by January, hopefully they are back in compliance. So the wording needs to be, I don't mind them doing it, and I think the full board should do it, but they should do it while they're in compliance, because for them to not do it while they're in compliance even complicates the matter even more so.
That's why.
Thank you. Hang on. Thank you. Okay. Any other council members? Councilmember Lee.
I think that's why it's important that the police review board director is able to, this is part of that. So those individuals who have issues or problems, the director can go and view the video and until the board is ready, and we can work towards getting the board ready. But right now we have a director that is ready that could do it. And so I don't see why this is being hindered on based on that, because the board director is already in compliance.
Thank you. Councilmember White.
Now, this is my last question. That January 1 date, that's not etched in stone, is it?
No, this is etched in stone.
Okay, I didn't
Councilmember
think so.
White.
So I don't want that to
Even if
kind of
it's after it's
hinder or
passed,
limit
right?
our, on that.
But Mr. Chair?
Yes.
It's not etched in stone, but if we vote on this tonight, it is the vote of January 1, unless it's amended to not be that. And then we would have to come up with a good date of when shall it be implemented. Shall it be implemented in 10 days? Shall it be implemented in 2 months or 3 months? I think that is something that we need to be able to have a reason why we say January. The administration argued for January. And then if we do anything less, then we need to have the data that supports why we do it for less. It's not just throwing out, okay, I want October because it's my birthday. I want November because it's near Christmas or whatever. What's the rationale that's based on some data from other police departments and other things that gives us a strong rationale? We are sworn to do our duty and to do our due diligence to represent the people of South Bend. And the people of South Bend, not one of them have supported this anyway in a public hearing. So we're going out on a limb to even go forward with this when we have not had any public support for any of it right now.
Thank you. I'm sorry we cut you off, Councilmember White.
Oh, no, I was just looking at that and, and getting more clarity, because we can always amend that date, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The date could be amended. Any other comments, Councilmember White?
No, I'm fine.
Okay. Any other council members? Comments?
Yes, should that date be amended for tonight? No, okay. No, I thought you were saying to me.
I would like to say that we need to do something with this bill and get it taken care of. We have worked and changed we said the $50 was too much. We done brought it down to 25. We're saying if you need the video, you get to see the video free. But that's without a fee right at the first, okay? Then you also can file a complaint with the review board to be able to see the video again and get it through the review board if we need to. So sitting up here, we need to make some bold decisions, and we've got to make a hard decision on what we're going to do here. So I would like to see us come to another compromise and let's try to get something done here with this bill tonight. It's not a rush. Even though you go and get more data, that data is for that city that it worked for there. Maybe it didn't work there. We don't know what the data gonna end up being here when this is finally over with. We don't know if it's gonna work. That's why you put in there to come back and review it again, right? So therefore, we can all come back together again, say, hey, it didn't work. Let's start a new process. But until then, we're not getting anywhere right now. We done had all these meetings. We don't need to keep doing this. We got to make a decision and move forward. And yes, this is a hard decision because I was totally against the $50 fee myself, okay? Because that was hard for me. But I am ready to see us get something done here. Then I don't know if we said the date is not etched in stone. So if it don't work in 6 months, let's come back and do it again. That's just my suggestion.
Thank you. Councilmember Davis.
I appreciate that. I just think that the bigger the project, the more you have to do it from the beginning. You know, when you build a house, people taking 5 sessions. I wonder how many times that the even state senate, they did it, okay? Just the fact that we've had meetings, and again, we are switching up all these things. The people out here are hearing this, and we all are hearing it for the very first time. Okay, so for the very first time, what I've said is ask for 2 weeks. I didn't say vote it down. I didn't say vote it up. I just said 2 weeks. So the ideas that President Lee has shared, I can see light in all of what he has said. I'm at peace with that. I see that he's worked and the team has worked to try to bring it down. That is wonderful. But we also said we have some data. I think on data. I just don't make I need that to make a decision. When I go buy a computer, I want to see what the issues. When I went to buy my cell phone, I wanted to see what the options were. I asked, what is this? Why should I move up from the 12 to the 16? They talked about the new camera. If anybody knows the 16 has an awesome camera, y'all. And I wanted to know the data on that before I bought the 16. And I wanted to know that. And I wanted to do that before I bought it. Why am I going to invest money or time on something that I don't know and then buy it and then say, oh, this was horrible, and then come back? So I wanted to know that before I left out of that AT&T place for my thing. That's all. And so I think it's important. Before I plan a trip, I want to know it. I used to map out the trip. I know we do GPS now. We go as we go. This generation seems to go as we go. They just get in the car and go as we go. But the generation I grew up in is my dad had me map out the trip ahead of time. I take out the old map and drive from grandma's house, all the streets, and I'll map it out. And I guess that's still instilled in my head. I like to map it out before I go instead of doing the current way of the GPS and turn left, turn right, turn left, turn right, and get there. There's some wisdom in that. You can get there. But for me, I like to map it out ahead of time.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson.
I just need a little clarification. Several times it's been mentioned, there's ways to get it for free. What it is, if you are deemed a requester, the state has in their statute who is a requester and can go view the video. And so I brought up in the last, I can't remember which meeting, I know we've met a lot, like who determines that? The response was state statute. All the time, there's always wiggle room on there. Maybe I feel like I'm a requester, you don't, so how you gonna appeal that? So you only can get it for free if you satisfy the criteria of a requester. Or not get it for free, view it for free, not have a copy. You would still have to pay.
Thank you. Any other comments? Okay, so we got 4 motions. At this time, I would like to entertain a motion to reopen the public hearing on Bill 4325.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to reopen the public hearing on 4325. Clerk Torado, will you please take a roll call?
Councilmember Dr. Davis.
Aye.
Councilmember Niskoski.
Aye.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers.
Nay.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember McBride,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Aye.
Councilmember Warner,
Nay.
Vice President Thomas Morgan,
Nay.
President Lee.
Nay.
I have 5 ayes and 4 nays.
Okay. Thank you. So at this time, we shall reopen the public hearing portion. Members of the public shall have the opportunity to address the council, beginning with members of the public in favor, each limited to 5 minutes, and then going to those members of the public against, again limited to 5 minutes. Each member of the public shall state his or her name. I'm going to ask that if you've already spoken on the bill, we let those individuals speak first that have not spoken on the bill. So we hear from any individuals who have not already spoken on the bill at this time, and then we'll go on to individuals who have already previously spoken on the bill. Is there any members of the public wishing to speak against Bill 4325, either in person who have not previously spoken on the bill? Against, yes. Mr. Palmer. Got time?
As you're approaching the podium, please state your name and address clearly. Thank you.
Jesse Davis, P.O. Box 10205, South Bend, Indiana. First, I'm going to say every council member that voted nay to letting the public speak, shame on you. Some of us can't come here to every meeting, but I have been watching online. And I will say this is about transparency and it is about accountability. One council member that's sitting up there was out in the streets when the people of South Bend who voted you in were marching in the streets because of police incidents to get these cameras put into action. Okay, one council member, Mr. Davis. I remember seeing you out there. I was out there in the streets. This all started because we had officers who brutally beat an old golfer man and shoved his mother. The officer's name was Aaron Nepper. People marched to get him removed. He's still on the police force as far as I know. Then we wanted a citizen review board. That started like back in 2010. And we just now have the review board, which isn't worth a crap because it's not functional properly. And you guys want to push this through. It's about money. It's about all the requests. The request problem you said is with insurance companies and lawyers, and it's with these people who call themselves, what do they call themselves? They hold the police accountable. Those people are the ones making all these crazy requests. It's not the poor victims of crimes who this was supposed to protect. And most of these victims who need these videos, they're poor. Most of your people in South Bend are poor. And you want to slap another fine. It's always about the money. It's always about the money. So why can't you make this to where if you're not the victim of the crime or you're not the victim of the police abuse, you weren't the person arrested, that you pay to get this video? The poor people who are the ones that are victimized and wanting to get a video in order to make things right, to sue, whatever the case is, why are we strapping them again with more money, with fines? We don't care what Fort Wayne, Evansville, Indy does. We're not Fort Wayne, Evansville, and Indy. We're South Bend, Indiana. And you guys are supposed to represent us, and you're not doing a very good job of that. And you haven't been doing a very good job of that for the last year or better. I've been watching. This is a circus 90% of the time. And it's sad to watch. And I hope on election day that people remember all of this. Every bit of it. People marched in the streets over this stuff. Let's do this the right way. Is there a reason that we can't charge the insurance companies and the lawyers who aren't victims of a crime by the police or weren't arrested by the police who were requesting this. If they weren't the person in the video being arrested, why can't we charge them and not the poor people who can't afford to pay you that extra amount of money? And cutting it in half doesn't matter, man. That's just a Band-Aid. And that's what this council's been doing for over a year now. We keep pushing things through in Band-Aids. It's not a mandate, so stop trying to push this crap through. Do what's right, do what the people want. That's who put you in these chairs. And if you don't do what's right, I hope they take you out of those chairs when your seats are up for election.
Thank you.
Good evening. Before I begin my time, I wanted to enter something into the record. Is that acceptable, Attorney Palmer?
Yes.
Sue Kessom, 4022 Kennedy Drive. I'd like to respectfully address the dismissive tone and comments made at the last meeting regarding the use of AI to assist with redacting police body camera footage. To the city attorney who referenced ChatGPT dismissively, that comment's likely from 3 years ago. Today's tools, including ChatGPT-5 with advanced deep research prompting and a temperature setting of 0, are designed to produce highly accurate, verifiable results, making them well suited for professional legal research when used properly. I encourage city legal to explore getting AI literacy courses. That said, ChatGPT is not designed for video processing, and referencing it in the context of body cam redaction is not a fair comparison. There are specialized AI redaction tools that are built specifically for law enforcement and legal compliance. I've included a professional comparison of 5 of the top tools currently used in departments across the country, which I have shared with you. In fact, this level of research normally comes with a consulting fee. So feel free to add me as a line item in the next city budget to help offset my cost of my AI certification at MIT. As with any tool, the results depend on the quality of the technology and the skill of the person using it. Proper prompting is essential, and comparing poor results from an untrained user to that of a well-informed professional can do is like comparing a beginner's attempt at an instrument to a seasoned musician's performance. Modern redaction software automatically detects and makes sensitive faces, including minors, license plates, screens, weapons, tattoos, notepads, spoken or written personally identifiable information like names and social security number across both video and audio. Agencies using these tools report slashing hours of manual redaction down to minutes per video. Minutes. Human staff still play a critical role in reviewing the final footage, but the bulk of the labor is automated, saving time, reducing staff burnout, and minimizing exposure to traumatic content. Given the efficiency gains, the proposed fees seem excessive and unnecessary. Many other police departments are already using these tools successfully, and there's no reason South Bend can't do the same. Get AI redaction software. What I submitted to you were 5 options with comparisons. So that's the data you need. You need the data on actually getting rid of the labor of doing all this, like other police departments have done. The labor goes away with AI. Clerk Toronto uses AI for our meetings, summarizing the council minutes. So, yeah, you guys need to look at the tech. That needs to be part of your consideration. Thank you.
Good evening, council members. My name's Tim Cotton, 63808 State Road 23, North Liberty. I serve as chair of the St. Joseph Libertarian Party and Libertarian Party of Indiana's second district chair. So let me be clear. If you vote in favor of this bill, you're telling every citizen in South Bend that your loyalty is to bureaucracy and not the people of South Bend. You're protecting the government from scrutiny. And you're saying that that's more important than protecting the public from abuse. I heard some comments tonight, and I made an itemized list. I'm an engineer. I start going through the list and what the response is. I've heard this fee is allowed by the state law. Well, allowed doesn't mean required. This is your choice, and it's a wrong one. If you say it's to cover costs, then fund the department in the budget. Don't tax transparency. If you say it's to stop excessive requests, that's called censorship, not efficiency. If you say we need to protect taxpayer resources, the taxpayers are the ones requesting the footage. Other cities charge similar fees. Leaders set the example. They don't hide behind bad examples. If you say this is about fairness, fairness is about equal access, not access to only those who can pay. If you say we've heard enough public comment already, if you've heard enough, it's because you don't like what you're hearing. Furthermore, okay, we lowered it to $25 an hour, $75 max. That's reasonable. Well, lowering the ransom doesn't make it right. You're still charging for the truth. You say we compromised. Everyone should be happy. The public was 100% against any fee. Ignoring that isn't compromise, it's defiance. You say this is much more affordable now. Affordable for some is still unaffordable for many. Access should be equal, not tiered by income. We listened to the public and adjusted. You didn't listen. You just found a softer way to ignore them. If you say this will help cover the work without being too hard on residents, if you truly cared about residents, you'd cover the work in the budget, not charge them for oversight. If you say this is the best middle ground we can reach, the middle ground between transparency and censorship is still censorship. If you say the new fee is fair, fair is free access for all. You can't put a price tag on accountability. Thank you.
Wow.
Logan Foster, 1138 College Street. Members of this legislative body, we are here tonight to discuss Ordinance 4325, a proposal that has been presented to this council through public hearings and presentations by the City of South Bend's Legal Department and the South Bend Police Department. But let me be clear, based on the testimony and evidence provided by the petitioners, this ordinance is deeply flawed and it should be rejected outright. As council members, you have a duty not to the petitioners, not to the bureaucracy, but to the people of South Bend. Article 1, Section 2.8 of South Bend's Municipal Code is crystal clear. A council member shall not vote or take any other discretionary action in the member's official capacity except in the exercise of the member's own independent judgment reached after due regard for the collective interest of the member's constituency as a whole and of the citizens in the community of the City of South Bend. The people of South Bend, your constituency, has spoken. They have overwhelmingly directed you to vote no on this ordinance. To ignore their voices would not only violate your oath of office, but also betray the trust they have placed in you as their representatives. Now let's talk about the petitioners. These are attorneys, licensed bar-certified officers of the court, who claim to have spent over 2 years working on this legislation. 2 years. And yet, what do they have to show for it? A proposal to impose body camera fees A decision so straightforward, it could have been resolved in a matter of weeks, not years. This is not the work of diligence or efficiency. This is the work of a bloated, inefficient bureaucracy that has lost the sight of its purpose. But inefficiency is not the only issue here. What's far more troubling is the petitioner's disregard for ethical standards. These attorneys have knowingly presented inaccurate and misleading information to this legislative body. Let me tell you something. If these attorneys had done this in the courtroom, they would be facing serious consequences, censure, suspension, and maybe even disbarment. The legal profession demands integrity, and the people of South Bend deserve nothing less. And it doesn't stop there. The petitioners have resorted to tactics that are, frankly, beneath the dignity of this council. They've tried to stack the deck by having the chief of police and other officials advocate during public hearings. They sent the mayor's chief of staff to strong-arm undecided council members, and they provided deceptive and incomplete information to push their agenda. That is not how transparent, accountable government operates. This is how trust in government is eroded. Now let's talk about the ordinance itself. The city has openly admitted that it intends to disproportionately target businesses with these fees based on the false assumption that businesses do not pay taxes. That's not just wrong. That's absurd. Businesses do pay taxes, and the courts have been clear. Businesses are legal persons with rights under the law. Cases like Citizens United versus FEC and Burwell versus Hobby Lobby have affirmed this principle. By targeting businesses in this way, the city is engaging in financial discrimination and opening itself up to legal challenges that could cost taxpayers even more money. And let me ask you this. Do we really want the city of South Bend to become a national example of what not to do? The city has already faced scrutiny over issues like body cameras, the tragic shooting of Eric Logan, and questions of transparency and accountability. Do we want to add financial discrimination and unethical governance to that list? Or do we want to show the nation that South Bend stands for fairness, integrity, and the rule of law? For these reasons, I will exercise the authority granted to me under Article 1 of Indiana's Constitution, our Bill of Rights, and I will officially instruct you, my representatives, to vote no on Ordinance 4325. So I urge each of you to stand with the people of South Bend, stand for accountability, and stand for the principles that make this city and our country great.
My name's Akachi Okereke. I live at 230 East Calvert. The last time I spoke, I talked about the data because I had a lot of questions about how the attorneys who presented it, how they were actually going about trying to reduce it so that it could actually be something that could be emailed. And I later found out that for a 2-hour video, the actual data load was a little under 1.5 gigs. That suggests that the video itself was probably substandard. You may not understand what that means. What that means is it was probably 360p. These are probably numbers you guys may not be familiar with. I understand you're older individuals. What I would say is that it basically means the video is really hard to see. It's really unclear. And what it means is that its data load is very low. It's not something that we should be having burnt to a CD and sent to people. That's an ungodly, absurd way of doing data transfers. You do not do them that way. And from what I understand, the state government has its own cloud services. This is critically important to understand. You guys should not be burning these to CDs. You should simply be emailing them. As a matter of fact, that's absurd. Why would you ever do that? Basically, as a general rule, what you should do is you should download the video and they send an email to whoever wants a request with a code and a share file. That share file then gets accessed through the code. That way you can actually segregate people who didn't make requests from people who did make requests, because the person who gets the email then uses that code to enter, get the video log, download it, all of these things. And considering it's on a cloud file, that means there should already be another company that's contracted by the state of Indiana, or maybe servers that are controlled by the state of Indiana itself already that handles this. This is not something that should ever be burnt to a CD. And when I heard that, I thought that is absurd. That is not the way you should be handling this. This should be actually handled through email almost exclusively. There should never be a time where they do this, especially considering the fact that they're not even using. I mean, this might be like rational if maybe they were sending like, I guess, ultra high def because they want things to be really clear, but they aren't doing that. These are not massive data loads. These are videos that are kind of rough to see. I mean, and there is a rationale behind that. It makes it easier to pass it off to people. But the claim that the attorneys made that these are massive amounts of data that they can't email to people is absurd. Of course you can email this, and it's absurd to think that you couldn't. And it has me questioning, are these people saying this because they simply don't understand how data works? Or are they saying this because they're trying to hide something? Neither of these two are good options. One, either they're completely incompetent, or two, they are trying to deceive the public. Neither is good. You do not want, I suggest we do not have attorneys deal with this as a problem. They should have somebody else do it. They should hire somebody to handle this. That'd be great, I think. But as a general rule, that's my big gripe with this. I'm looking at it, I'm like, why would they ever have this burnt to a CD? This is not the mid 2000s. Why would they even consider this? This isn't even, this is 20 years later. Come on. We can do better than this. And the state of Indiana has available cloud services that they can get that are specialized for the government. That's basically it.
Hi, I'm Nia, Nia Okereke, 230 East Calvert Street. I just want to recognize the fact that this is 2025. And if I'm looking at my board, I am unbelievably proud because I see 4 Black women, which is something that I'm not sure we had several years ago. You know, I see a Black man as the head of this board, something that we did not have 25 years ago. You know, we are a place of progress, right? South Bend is probably one of the most, if not the most progressive city in all of Indiana, right? So I feel like this charge kind of brings us back a little bit because we're making so much progress. And I live in fear every day that Indiana is regressing in a sense, you know, all these people of color up here. And we know the innate fears that people like us walk around with. We know these. We know what our sons feel. We know what our cousins feel, what our fathers feel, what our uncles feel, what our ancestors felt at one point or another. And I feel like we become more of a target when we are charged things that we can't afford. I do understand that $25, that might not be a lot to y'all, but that might be a lot to that young, struggling college student who was just going to class, but it happened to be too dark at night. And then he gets caught up by the police because he fits the description of somebody. And then something leads to something else and then something else. And now how is he supposed to afford this body cam footage that we're talking about? I mean, like, if we're being realistic, I'm just trying to appeal to your humanity in this, okay? This is not necessarily about, oh, well, you know, maybe he can contact grandma, maybe he can contact whoever. We are living in a society where they are sending people back because they don't look like they belong here. We are under a umbrella of harsh realities right now. And I think that it is important that we focus on that. And I think that it's important that we focus on the fact that our people are scared. What you are hearing is fear. You're hearing that we need transparency. And you are hearing that we are afraid for our lives. And if somebody sees me and I can't afford that $25, I become a target. And now because I was a target, I can't I might not make this out alive. I might not be able to prove my innocence because I became a target. Y'all are targets. I just want y'all to see it from the eyes of who you are and who we are, all the people of color. Thank you.
Gilbert Washington, 135 North Hawthorne Drive, South Bend, Indiana, 46617. Let me share what I think and feel at this moment. The council has worked hard, and I'm not going to denigrate anyone and their work and the process and your ethics and your opinions. It seems to me that this bill is a compromise. Am I correct? Compromise? Compromise oftentimes is good. I heard an objection for a table to table it for 2 weeks. In my estimation, that's also a compromise. Why can't we do it? Why won't we do it, given the cloud that says this is not transparent, a cloud that says this is not enough? How do we arrive at a number? It's half. I can count. It's half. There's a ceiling. But why can't it be free? I recall talking to the police chief some years ago, before we had cameras. And he said, I don't know if we have enough money so that our police would have cameras that would bring transparency to the actions of our police and those whom they engage. And here we are some years later asking how much we should charge, or how much should those individuals be charged to redact, to recreate that film. Do the right thing. Do the right thing for the right reason. And we'll all be at peace. Thank you.
Sarah Foster, 1138 College Street. Tonight, I come before you with strong opposition to Ordinance 4325. Ordinance 4325, simply put, is a tax on transparency and a barrier of trust between citizens and police officers. 2 council meetings ago, Councilwoman Thomas Morgan voted no to an ordinance because residents contacted her asking her to vote no. Prior to tonight's meeting, you all have received emails and phone calls asking you to vote no. You have now heard in person, not once, but twice, the opinions of those asking you to vote no to 4325. So, council members, I must ask, do you represent your constituents or do you represent the mayor?
We have someone online. Peggy, please unmute yourself and state your name and address.
Good evening. This is Peggy Foster at 3210 Sugar Maple Business Court, South Bend, Indiana, 46628. I'm here tonight to strongly oppose ordinance 4325. Everybody who spoke before me spoke very eloquently on not just one reason, but multiple reasons. And for this, with my own, I strongly disagree. And I would hope my representatives would vote with that in consideration. Thank you.
Is there anyone else from the public or online that would like to speak in opposition? I do not see anyone in the chamber or online at this time that would like to speak in opposition, Chair.
I think we got a hand there.
Someone just raised their hand.
I'm sorry. Please state your name. Please unmute yourself and state your name and address.
I apologize. That was me not being computer savvy. My name is Ricky Herbst. I'm at 702 Philippa Street, South Bend, Indiana, 46619. This is a very hard bill. I recognize the challenges. I recognize the great labor and intelligence and thoughts and research that went into it from our legal department. I do think, given the substantive changes that were made to this bill, the massive substantive changes that were made in this compromise, which could be ultimately what this bill needs to be. Tabling it for 2 weeks is a great chance to go back and see if these data points, which until now the public weren't talking about or hearing, work. So giving this bill 2 weeks is a chance to let it be welcomed by both sides of this issue. So please give it time. If anything, the rocks tumble for 2 more weeks and you end up with something that's even better. So please, just a little more time. And thank you so much to the 5 people who allowed the public, who wanted to reopen this, to have the public be heard. I am shocked that 4 of you voted no on that. But thank you for giving us this moment. I greatly appreciate it.
I do not see any additional members of the public in person or online that wishes to speak in opposition of the bill.
Thank you. Anybody else in person or online wishing to speak about the bill, in favor of the bill, about the bill, against the bill? It is not already spoken.
I do not see anyone in person or online that wishes to speak in opposition, that wishes to speak in favor of the bill at this time.
Okay, at this point, the public hearing on the bill is now closed. So we will come back to council.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As last year, when I rejoined the council, one of the most shocking things that I found was that a lot of the record of 2014 was not available to the public for them to see it on the same level. And I asked for that, and I'm very grateful that our clerk worked to make sure that that's all up to date, and I was so glad that got cleared up. Why is that? Well, on December 8, 2014, the last time I was blessed to chair this council, Councilman Henry Davis, Councilwoman Valerie Shea, and I sponsored the bill regarding the cameras, the community review board, and everything else. Why do we do all of that? Sometimes in glory days and nice days, we forget. But let's look at police shootings of Black unarmed people in 2014. Eric Gardner, July 17th, 2014. Gardner died in New York City after a New York police officer placed him in a chokehold during an arrest for allegedly selling illegal cigarettes. His dying words, "I can't breathe," became a rallying cry for the movement. Michael Brown, August 9, 2014. Shot and killed by a police officer in Ferguson, Missouri. The decision to not indict the officers sparked widespread protests and arrests in Ferguson and all over this country. John Crawford III, August 5, 2014. Police shot and killed Crawford in a Walmart in Beaver Creek, Ohio, right next door, while he was carrying a toy gun in the store. Hazell Ford, August 11, 2014. An unarmed and mentally ill man shot and killed by Los Angeles police officers. Akili Gurley, November 20th, 2014. A police officer shot and killed Gurley in a dimly lit stairway in Brooklyn apartment building. And finally, November 22nd, right around Thanksgiving that year of November, Tamar Rice, a 12-year-old carrying a replica toy gun, was shot and killed by police in Cleveland within seconds of their arrival. So in the light of all of these shootings that happened in 2014 and all the rallies that Mr. Davis we talked about when we were all over here, I was lying down, I can't breathe. We had all these movements. We said that what could protect the white police officers, black police officers, Hispanic police officers, what could protect black, white, everybody else is these body cameras. Get the body. I was so upset when I realized that the body cameras were not on the police when Eric Logan was shot. If that had been on, it would have changed the trajectory of, I think, Mayor Buttigieg and everything else. And it did not, and that created it. So this has been not just a 2-week issue. People said they put a lot of time in committee meetings. With all due respect, I've spent over 14 years with this. And as an African-American male, I've spent my life. On my birth certificate, it says I'm a Negro. That's what it officially says. And I have had to deal with issues many times over, and not to talk about my dad, who's 95 years old, and all the stories he's had to deal with. So when it comes down to police transparency, I am there, and I say any hindrance on any of this, as the author of the bill for that, is disturbing. Any hindrance, and the seeing that our community review board, that Councilman Davis and Councilwoman Shay, we authored it at the beginning. Others came back with and made some additions to it with Councilwoman White and also Councilwoman what's her name? Lori Hammond. They came back and did that, and I appreciate all their work because this takes time. And so people who say, well, we've met a few months or a few weeks and we got to rush through. And when it comes down to police and any kind of thing like that, you get one life, y'all, and people need to understand. And there's there's 3 words that really I built my whole career on. My 16 years with Transpo, and now my 14th years, is this word: trust, trust, and trust. Y'all know where I stand when I'm in agreement with you. You know where I stand when I'm in opposition with you. Trust. And we just say that we want the community to build a budget together. We build a budget together. But when people come to give us their ideas about the budget, we don't listen. We call it a circus. Or one of our leaders in the community said when people come up, they're just doing political theater, or they just doing a circus. We call people a circus when they come up. We have had in this current board limits to try to stop the public hearing and say, well, people don't like it. This council heard about a month ago, one of my neighbors came up in front of this council and said that you did not call, Oliver Davis, you did not call me back and about her sidewalk. She was right. I forgot. And she gave me a whipping over there, and then I needed that spanking. All the way home, I felt that spanking, and everything's correct. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with people saying I'm wonderful. I'm okay with them saying you needed to do better. Cool. Because that's the trust of this community. So when we say we want to build a budget, we want to hear everybody come, but yet we call people political theater, or we call them bloggers and messing up, or we don't want to hear your email and we don't want to hear that. Tonight, I'm shocked that in this very meeting, 46% of this council, including 100% of its council leadership, voted to not open the public hearing tonight. People call me, They email me, they text me, I go out of town, I still get it. I mean, my gray hair has come from a lot of issues, and especially zoning. But the bottom line is, it is important. If I don't want to hear all of that, I need to get off. And so I was shocked and sad about that. 100%, not 99, not 99.9, 100% of the public in all of our meetings have been in opposition. Let me repeat, 100% of the public in all of our public hearing have been in opposition to this bill. Not one resident of this city voted in favor of this version or any version. We've been doing well for 9 years. Why we have to change? If it's not broke, why fix it? And 100%, whether you're Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, whatever, we've been doing well, and we worked hard to establish police relationship. And now they've already put the state of Indiana wants to even have us do cameras away. Do we want to follow that? No, we want to be there and be transparent, because our city, unlike any other, doing all the Black Lives Matter, Indianapolis had to use tear gas. Fort Wayne had to use tear gas. All these other cities. South Bend did not. And we were out there marching and marching and marching. I was losing weight that summer. All the times out there watching and marching and marching. We didn't have one problem because of the fact that we allowed public hearing here in the city. And I'm proud that we did not have one issue. But those other cities, they had problems. So we believe in transparency. And we may often talk about MAGA as Democrats. And MAGA hiding the Epstein tapes, and MAGA hiding this, and MAGA hiding that, and MAGA doing all this stuff, and Trump, Trump, Trump. But are we, as Democrats, being a MAGA ourselves when we don't deal with transparency? We can call the other side red and bad and horrible, but are we being MAGA on the Democratic side from that standpoint? Yes, we have all Democrats up here. But and typically Democrats are for liberating freedom and speech and public, the Constitution, which I teach in my policy classes. Even when people speak and they may not have all the things against me and whatever, there's freedom. My parents taught me freedom. And my dad fought for freedom in the Korean War. He doesn't remember much about today what he ate, but he will remember at 95 years old what he battled in Korean War. He remembers his freedom, his Bronze Star. He remembers his freedom. Being on the back of the bus and everything else, any kind of poll tax. Well, we can do it in front of the police and let the freedom. It's like so many people in that generation had to go before the public and look down on tapes. I mean, to vote with everybody standing on intimidation. That's intimidation. People need to have transparency without it. And so from a father who cannot be here tonight because of his dementia issues, who cannot remember what he ate for breakfast, but can remember his fight on the freedom battles for this country, for freedom, I have to. He swore me in. And he swore me in with the understanding that I would fight for freedom, no matter what race, what gender, what anything, and everything that I fight for, trust, trust, trust. So how can we sit up there and blast President Trump when we ourselves as Democrats are here, sitting up here and dealing with issues of banning transparency in the name of we have to do this? I am tired of that. Let's be straight up or not be here at all. Trust, trust, trust. Let's trust the public. And for us to not listen to them, we are not building a budget. We're not even building a city with them. That's a shame, and we can do better. Let's do better by listening to our residents, hearing with them. People out here love the city just as much as I do, even more than I do. I mean, we love it. Why should I disvalue their points and do that? Anytime y'all want public hearing, you can count on I'm voting for that, because I don't care if it means we have to be here late at night and I'm sleepy tomorrow morning. I would rather be sleepy tomorrow morning and take some coffee than to have to you all leave out here tonight and we didn't hear your point. Thank you for being a representative and giving me the chance to be your representative, and I listen to you. Thank you.
Councilmember Lee.
Yep. Thank you for what you said, Mr. Davis. Again, Dr. Davis, I'm sorry. I too was on those streets protesting the violence that went on. I worked very closely with the violence that was happening in our city. I've been on crime scenes and saw people's heads blown off. Did. It-
No comments from the public, please.
But,
Public
but-
hearing is closed.
but again, sir, when people said that the $150 was exorbitant, people said that $50 was too much. Try to figure out a way. We even asked, what if we had a fund through the CRB that people that couldn't afford, but because of the state law, we cannot differentiate between people. So everybody's it's got to be the same. We tried to figure out ways, how could we eliminate those who couldn't afford it? We also asked we asked our legal to give us the data of other cities, and so to cut it to $25, was a true compromise of trying to meet in the middle. The fee of processing law enforcement video, it's not about the police cam, it's about redacting the video. That's where the fees come from, is redacting the video and people wanting a hard copy. If you view it for free, you can view it for free. If you have a lawyer, which I don't know anybody who was trying to sue the city that wouldn't have a lawyer, the lawyer can get it through discovery. They can get it for free. So again, it was about once the redaction has happened, that work has been done. So if someone did come back and get and ask for the same video, and I don't even know if the legal could even tell us how many people would actually request the same exact video. But again, we were trying to find a way to compromise. This keeps access affordable while still covering the work involved. If you've never had to edit video, if you've never had to see a graphic video, if we're going to send it out, if it's going to leave from the police department or whatever, there are legal things that they have to do in order to redact that. That's law, so they cannot send it out. And so those fees were actually going back to the program. Again, by adding the statement about the Community Police Review Board to our public records form, it was ensuring that people who had an issue would be connected with the Citizens Police Review Board and be able and understand its role and oversight and be able to have somebody help guide them through the process. And then finally, adding a 1-year review clause, ensure that we can check back and see if this fee structure is working as intended. Or do we need to change? So again, never would we ever try to disenfranchise anybody. But again, trying to find a compromise, trying to find a way that would allow individuals to be able to see video, and those who wanted it for a hard copy would be the ones who would have to pay the fees for redaction. That's what this was about. It was not about police trying to hide anything or cover up anything. It wasn't about that. It was about the work that's involved with trying to redact video and the time that it takes. That's what it was about. So these changes help us to try to be more transparent and responsive and fair. And so tonight, that's the reason for the reduction of the fee. Sir, if you cannot, we will have a quorum in this, we will have the quorum. You will not cuss, you will not be disruptive. Okay. So again, it's not about trying to hide, it's not trying to cover up anything. It was about the work that's being done, and it's been turned into something totally different. And so that's That's my thoughts.
The only other comment I know,
Thank-
so we can move on, Chair, there is a lot of people that still have misinformation that if you are a victim, you get the video. So when you're talking about like differences between the requester or different things, if you are, so there's a vast difference between who gets the video, how you get the video, and what you see for free when you just want to watch the video. So there's a lot of different distinctions between the difference. So when we talked about it over and over again, I think on the high end, that number was no more than like 10. We talked about it and even have some not-for-profits who are willing to offset the cost for anyone who is requesting those videos to get us through the first year. So there are some various options with other organizations who are willing to assist with getting those videos for us to monitor and for people to not be able to pay for those videos. But we are constantly continuing to make this not a burden on people and constantly and continually to move forward. One of the things that didn't sell me initially is when they talked about the county council passed it 9-0. I needed more information. I needed a lot more information and asked a lot of questions. And since then, I was given everything that I've asked for, and I am just ready to move forward.
Yes, I would just like to end my statement with, it's very unfair for someone to try to tell someone else's story. So the ones that don't understand, we have worked very hard at this to try to get this to satisfy everyone. It's not going to be pleasing to everybody, okay? But we are working very hard. I'd like to thank Councilwoman Nagowski for all the meetings that she has held. Sheila, how many has it been? For us to discuss this, we had it open was it just last week? We had a meeting a week before last.
Yeah.
We have done everything to try to get the public out. Now tonight, I think I only heard 2 different people in this chamber to speak against. So we have it open to the public. The public's just not showing up, so.
Well, no, if I can interject, Councilwoman, there are some
How
people
about
who,
let her finish her thoughts and then we'll go back. Thank you.
So we are trying to work with the public on this. So we're not just doing this on our own. We're trying to come up with different stuff to work with the public. So don't think that we're not here to try to, we just gonna make the decision by ourselves. We're listening. We hear what you're saying. We understand. Just because we're Black don't mean that we don't understand. So I don't even like to use color and stuff. We have to make decisions for everyone, not just because we're a certain color. So I don't know if I just said something wrong or what happened down there, but that's just the way I feel. I'm not trying to make a Black decision. I'm trying to make a decision for everyone.
thank you. I totally agree with that. I don't ask when somebody calls, and I definitely know my roots and ethnicity and where I come from and the struggles that we have. That goes without question. And there are times that, I have to stand on truth and to who I am. In this issue too, with me serving the district, the 3rd district, when people call me, I don't ask what race, what political party, what color you are. When they ask for curbs, sidewalks, or anything, my job is to help anyone, whether they're elderly or whatever ethnicity you are. It doesn't matter. I don't ask and say, oh, I can't help you because you're not Black. My job is to listen to everyone. There are also people who have had discussions with me in my district who are for this bill. Unfortunately, because of some of the behaviors of bullying that goes on, some people don't want to speak out. Some people don't want to be the face of everything that you're hearing and negative. And I understand. It's one thing for me to be able to have to take it because that's what I signed up for as a politician. But when you're talking about citizens who are afraid to speak out because of the ramifications, you understand that. So 100% with people that speak in against and none. We've had some conversations with people who are for this bill, but in some regard, a lot of regard, you understand why they're not.
Thank you. Councilmember Bolden Simpson.
Did you come? I'm sorry, I didn't. Okay, thank you. As I contemplated this bill, I kept thinking of the difference between expensive and costly. Expensive things are marked up for status, offering little more than a label or a trend-driven design. Costly things, on the other hand, are priced for their quality and craftsmanship and the experience they provide. Trust is costly. And we've made some incremental progress in trust by getting the body cameras. And even though the CPR board is not quite functional, at least we've gotten it. And so those are progress. And I fear that if we rush and vote this in, we will wipe out the little progress we've made. We want to keep that trust, and we want to keep that trust growing for everybody, rich, poor, Republican, Democrat, in between. We want the trust to keep growing. And so trust is costly and is worth a little extra time.
Councilmember White, any
I'm still thinking, can you come back to me?
comments? Sure. Any council
Thank
members
you.
down here?
Mhm.
Okay. This time then we'll start with motion number 1, Attorney Palmer. We have a motion and a second on a motion to amend section 11 of the fee schedule, reducing the ordinance to $25 an hour, up to $75 per recording. Clerk Dorado, can you please do a roll call on motion number 1, reducing the fees?
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember McBride,
Aye.
Councilmember Niskoski,
Aye.
Councilmember Dr. Davis,
Aye.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Nay.
Councilmember Warner,
Aye.
Vice President Thomas Morgan,
Aye.
President Lee.
Aye.
I have 8 ayes and 1 nay.
Thank you. So amendment number 1 passes. So the bill is now amended to a fee of $25 an hour with a cap of $75 per recording. Okay. Now motion number 2
To continue.
was to
to
table
the
the
entire
bill till 2 for 2, a period of 2 weeks. Clerk Dorado, can you please do a roll call vote on motion number 2 to table Bill 4325 to the next council meeting, which would be August 25th?
Councilmember McBride,
Point of order, I have a question.
Certainly.
Okay. Now, the vote that we just took reduces the bill,
It
no
reduces
matter
the
what, correct?
fee.
Reduces the fee.
It changes the, it amends the bill. The
Yes.
bill would still have to be passed. So there would still be, right now, the bill has been amended and changed,
To
but the
reduce
bill
it.
itself still sits on the table, and we still have to address 2 other possible amendments to the bill.
Okay,
So right now, this would table the bill for 2 weeks, and we would go ahead and finish out those amendments. And then the amended bill, if it is tabled, would sit on the table for 2 more weeks. So this would table the bill for 2 more weeks.
Nay.
Councilmember Good Rogers,
Nay.
Councilmember Dr. Davis,
Aye.
Councilmember Nisgowsky,
Nay.
Councilmember Warner,
Nay.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Nay.
Vice President Thomas Morgan,
Nay.
President Lee.
Nay.
I have 2 ayes and 7 nays.
Thank you. So the motion to table the bill for 2 weeks has been defeated. We will now go on to motion number 3, which was the fee recording shall be reviewed after 1 year to determine the effectiveness of the fee recording. That is amending section 11B.
Motion on the question? Question on the motion?
Okay, hang on just a second. We'll get there. This is amending section 11B of the fee schedule. Okay, so we have a motion, a second. I have a question on the motion.
Yes. When is the starting date? We need to establish the starting date. Currently, the bill reads as January the 1st. There was talk in our discussion to look at a different date. Are we going to come up with that date tonight? Are we prepared to come up with that date tonight? That's why I was hoping that we would delay it 2 weeks, because if somebody comes up with the date tonight, I would need to know their rationale for why it's this or why it's to stay at January 1.
The date is January 1.
I know, but are we going to look at that because we had had that discussion?
So
I don't know what.
I thought we discussed the date pretty.
No, we did not come. We didn't come up with.
Whether you were happy with that discussion is.
No, we were not. Well,
would you have another date in mind?
When we looked at it, I was sharing with you that the review, if we start January 1, we won't come back to make any changes to the 2028 budget. The reason why I shared that is because I was hoping that we would come back into 2020 in 2 weeks so we can determine that. To determine the exact date puts us at a time where, and I brought this out, to send this to the community review board, which is the next one. Will they have enough time to review that and everything else? So should we start it January? Should we start it now? We said we would have that discussion, and we haven't had that discussion yet to determine a date.
Okay, anybody else have questions about the date?
Call for the question.
Okay, we have a call to previous question. Clerk Torado, can you please do a roll call vote on motion number 3?
Councilmember Dr. Davis.
Nay.
Councilmember Nisgowsky.
Aye.
Councilmember Good Rogers.
Aye.
Councilmember McBride.
Aye.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson.
Aye.
Councilmember White.
Aye.
Councilmember Warner.
Aye.
Vice President Thomas Morgan.
Aye.
President Lee.
Aye.
8 ayes and 1 nay.
Thank you. So Bill 4325, Section 11B of the fee schedule is now amended to include a review after 1 year to determine the effectiveness of the fee. Okay, moving on to motion number 4. Amending the ordinance in subsection I to require the public records request forms to include a statement that upon the filing of a complaint, the board director will review all relevant recordings or all recordings relevant to that complaint.
Question on the motion? Will we also include the board of directors and the community review board? I'd like to make an addition to that motion if possible.
Is that a motion?
Motion.
Okay. So what exactly would the motion say?
It would not only be limited to the director, but it would be to the review board.
Okay.
Second.
So Attorney Palmer,
The first vote should be on the motion as stated.
as stated,
If
and
that
then
passes, then there could be a motion, as Dr. Davis has stated,
to
to amend the
add-
amendment.
amend the amendment. Okay. Thank you very much. So at this time, we're gonna do the first motion to amend it to the director as was done, and then we'll vote on the amendment to the amendment. Okay?
Okay.
If that doesn't pass.
Can you, point of order, could you please clarify what?
Sure. So this is a vote on what is still motion number 4, which is in the highlighted section I. All request forms for law enforcement recording shall contain the statement that upon the filing of a complaint, the Community Police Review Board Director shall review all recordings relevant to that complaint. So we're voting on that first, and then there is amendment to amend that. But right now, we're voting on that as originally proposed. You're very welcome. I'm trying to make this all nice and very clear. Okay, so we have motion number 4. Clerk Torado, can you please do a roll call on motion number 4?
Councilmember McBride,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Nay.
Councilmember Warner,
Aye.
Councilmember Niskoski,
Aye.
Councilmember Dr. Davis, Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers,
Aye.
Vice President Thomas Morgan,
Aye.
President Lee.
Aye.
I have 7 ayes and 2 nays.
Thank you. So Bill 4325 now has a subsection I. Attorney Palmer, as the request forms will contain a statement that upon the filing of a complaint, the Community Police Review Board Director will review all recordings relevant to that complaint. Okay, so now we also have a motion to amend that amendment, which would scratch community, or no, it would include community director
Yes.
and community review board
That is correct.
members into that final sentence of subsection I. You got that, Mr. Palmer?
I do.
Okay. Any council members, we understand that. Any questions on that?
Chair,
Sure.
if that motion was seconded, I didn't pick that up.
It was seconded by Councilmember Bolden
Thank you.
Simpson. You're very welcome. Okay. So we've got a new motion on the table, so we'll go ahead and open this up back for discussion. Any discussion, questions on that new motion?
Call the question.
Okay, so we have a call to the question on that motion. Clerk Torado, can you please do a roll call vote? This would be motion number 5, which in subsection I would have the filing, after filing of a complaint with the Community Police Review Board, the board director and review board would review all recordings relevant to that complaint.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember Niskoski,
Nay.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Aye.
Councilmember Dr. Davis,
Aye.
Councilmember McBride,
Aye.
Councilmember Warner,
Nay.
Vice President Thomas Morgan,
Nay.
President Lee.
Aye.
I have 6 ayes and 3 nays.
Thank you. So that subsection I is now amended. to have the request form have a statement that upon the filing of a complaint, the board director and the community police review board will review all recordings relevant to that complaint.
Question, point of question, information. Will that now be added to the whole section in our chapter 2 or wherever, when it comes down to the community review boards, roles and responsibilities? Will that, our new decision, be added into that section in chapter 2?
Not unless somebody makes a motion to amend the ordinance in chapter 2.
So can we make a motion now to amend the ordinance where it includes what we have just decided for the director and the community reports to do that as a part of that, so that our decision we made tonight coincides with the rules of the community review board?
That would require a filing of an amendment to that. It's chapter 2 ordinance.
Can you work on that for me?
Yes.
For we can put that together for upcoming meeting?
Okay, yes.
I appreciate your kindness in that.
Thank you. Okay, so at this time, we now have an amended bill 4325 with the amendments that are passed. We will take one last vote regarding the amended bill. Can I have a motion on the amended bill?
I make a motion that we pass all of the amendments that we've.
Now, the amendments have passed, so this would be a recommendation
The bill.
or an action on the bill.
Okay. I make a motion that we send Bill 4325 to the full council with a favorable, amended with a favorable recommendation.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to send the amended 4325 forward with a favorable recommendation. Clerk Torado, can you please do a roll call vote?
Councilmember White, Councilmember Dr. Davis,
Nay.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers,
Aye.
Councilmember McBride,
Aye.
Councilmember Naskowski,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Nay. Might as well stay consistent.
Councilmember Warner,
Aye.
Vice President Thomas Morgan,
Aye.
President Lee.
Aye.
I have 7 ayes and 2 nays.
Thank you. Amended Bill 4325 will go on to the full council with a favorable recommendation. At this time, I would entertain a motion to rise from the committee of the whole and report back to the full council.
So moved.
It has been moved and seconded. Clerk Torado, can you please do a roll call vote on adjourning the committee of the whole?
Councilmember McBride,
Aye.
Councilmember Gooden Rogers,
Aye.
Councilmember Dr. Davis, Councilmember Naskowski,
Aye.
Councilmember Warner,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Vice President Thomas Morgan,
Aye.
President Lee.
Aye.
I have 8 ayes and 1 nay.
Thank you. The committee of the whole is now adjourned.
Well, such a good job. You really did.
All right, bills on third reading. Do we need to make a motion to go ahead and do 44-25 and get it over or off, or we stay
Let's
in the same order?
roll the same.
Okay, Bill 43-25, would you give it a third reading?
Third reading on an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, amending Section 2-210 of the Municipal Code pertaining to fees and processes for public records request.
Motion to defeat?
Second motion.
There's been a motion and a second. Clerk Toronto, please call the roll.
Councilmember Dr. Davis,
Aye.
Councilmember Nisgowsky,
Nay.
Councilmember Good Rogers,
Nay.
Councilmember McBride,
Nay.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Nay.
nay.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
Sorry, I just wanted to be clear.
Mm-hmm.
Councilmember Warner,
Nay.
Vice President Thomas Morgan,
Nay.
President Lee.
Nay.
2 ayes, 7 nays.
Move for passage.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Clerk Toronto, please call the roll.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Nay.
Councilmember McBride,
Aye.
Councilmember Warner,
Aye.
Councilmember Nisgowsky,
Aye.
Councilmember Dr. Davis,
On behalf of all the people who came up to voice their complaint, I say no in honor of all those who came and supported their opposition. So I appreciate you coming, and I listened to you, and I say no, just like you did.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember Good Rogers,
Aye.
Vice President Thomas Morgan,
Aye.
President Lee.
Aye.
7 ayes, 2 nays.
All right, Bill 43-25 is passed. Clerk Toronto, please give Bill 44-25 a third reading.
Third reading on an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, approving a petition of the Advisory Board of Zoning Appeals for the property located at 221 North Ironwood Drive, Councilmanic District Number 4 in the City of South Bend, Indiana.
Counselor Warner, is there a recommendation from the Committee of the Whole?
Yes, 4425 comes with a favorable recommendation from the Committee of the Whole.
All right, I will now entertain a motion.
Move for passage.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Clerk Toronto, please call the roll.
Councilmember McBride,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Aye.
Councilmember Warner,
Aye.
Councilmember Nisgowsky,
Aye.
Councilmember Dr. Davis,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember Good Rogers,
Aye.
Vice President Thomas Morgan,
Aye.
President Lee.
Aye.
9 ayes.
All right. Bill 4825 is passed. Unfinished business. Is there any?
We need to do
unfinished-
first reading, President Lee.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Wow. Clerk Toronto, would you please give Bill 48-25 a first reading?
First reading on an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, amending the historic landmark designation at 528 South Eddy Street, located within the City of South Bend, Indiana.
All right, I will now entertain a motion to send to the Historic Preservation Committee for public hearing on August 18th, 2025, and send to the Community Investment Committee for public hearing and third reading on August 25th.
So move.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Clerk Toronto, please call the roll.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Aye.
Councilmember McBride,
Aye.
Councilmember Warner,
Aye.
Councilmember Dr. Davis,
Aye.
Councilmember Nisgowsky,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember Good Rogers,
Aye.
Vice President Thomas Morgan,
Aye.
President Lee.
Aye.
9 ayes.
All right. Now we're to unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business? Is there any new business?
Yes.
Dr. Davis?
I would like to request a discussion or a meeting or information regarding how much property tax revenue has been generated from tax abatement supported projects over the last 10 years. That's from 2015 through now. And I'd like for us to please show the tax revenues generated each year, so year by year. Again, I want to know about how much property tax revenue has been generated from tax abatement supported projects over the last 10 years. And we want that to be done in each year by year. So I would like for us to be able to have a discussion on that. So we can look at that as we make plans for the upcoming budget season and getting ready to assess the impact of the 2026 and beyond challenges with the state budget.
Okay. Anybody else new business? If not, we'll go to privilege of. Oh, I'm
Chair
sorry.
Lee, I'm
Yes, ma'am.
sorry, just let to know that we'll be scheduling another residential neighborhoods meeting. I want to say the date. I will be able to share that. We'll be discussing walking tours as well as cleanup efforts, but also looking at a ordinance to address some of the issues that we have. And we'll be coming up with a theme that we'll be sharing with the council in regards to the residential neighborhoods committee in terms of cleaning up South Bend, our neighbors, our neighborhoods. But also I think Councilwoman Sherry Simpson would like to make an announcement about her upcoming neighborhood cleanup.
Thank you, Councilwoman White, and thank you, Chair. Yes, on August 23rd, 5th District will have its Spruce Up, and it will be Saturday, the 23rd, and the meeting place is Monroe School, and everyone's welcome to come out 9 a.m. to 12. If you can't get there to 10, that's fine. If you can just, if you have some back problems, can't pick something up, then you can help serve some donuts and some coffee. Whatever you do, your smiling face and encouragement will help us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, we will now go to the privilege of the floor. The disrespectful, rude, or disruptive speech or actions will not be tolerated. Such speech or actions, as well as verbal attacks on any person, may result in the individual, without notice, forfeiting the remainder of his or her allotted time. Individuals who wish to address the council must state their name, residential address. Individuals will be limited to 3 minutes only. Maximum time limit for this portion of the meeting is 30 minutes. Individuals shall not be permitted to address topics which the council has heard previously on the agenda. The council president may assign a topic raised by an individual during the privilege of the floor to the appropriate council member, or request the city clerk to contact a member of the city administration for review, and topics assigned shall be responded to at the next council scheduled council meeting. All right, you can now state your name and address for the record.
Susan Moore, 2203 Lear Street, South Bend, Indiana, 46613. And I wanted to add some of these or pictures given to the council. Those are pictures of 2209 Lear Street, which is the home that's directly south of my property. I've been at my property for 23 years. And the owner of 2209 took ownership on September of 2023. That's when our nightmare started. She first moved in, 2 people that were supposed to help an aunt. The aunt never made it to the house. So we ended up with 5 squatters for 5 months. It was a nightmare. Fire department, police department, you name it. My husband has Parkinson's, and I obviously am messed up. So sleep is very important. And we're so sleep deprived now, it's not even funny. After we got the first squatters out, she had the guy come in to fix the drywall. Well, now he's squatting. He's been there since, September of last year. And we have contacted city legal, code enforcement by way of 311. Jim and Chris are code enforcement officers for that area. And I've also contacted the nuisance department, South Bend PD. I've had several conversations with Sherry, who's the assistant to Chief Ruskowski. We were told that they could only accept my Ring videos as call to service. I said, well, that'd be great, call to service. So 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm calling dispatch and telling them what's going on. And I said, the guy's got a scanner, so he's hearing everything going on. And so he's standing out there waiting for the officers. He knows how to play the system, it's obvious. And so then the officers come and they're like, we don't see anything going on. I said, okay, I'm just gonna forget that. Well, then they told me I have to go file reports online with the detectives. Then I'm told, no, the detectives don't want to deal with this. So now I'm back to dealing with with Brian Mader and Sergeant Bourne. And Sergeant Bourne says, we're just doing call to service. And I said, this call to service isn't working. We have to figure out another way. So I said, you guys, oh, I'm sorry. So, I mean, it's just basically turned into a nightmare. And we need some help. So I reached out to Sharon McBride and sent her everything that I sent legal, sent code, and sent the police department. So we're reaching out. We need help. I mean, this has gone on too long.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next person.
Good afternoon, Council. I'm just coming back. My name is Debbie Bury. I live at 1350 Catherwood Drive. And we are just coming back in force again, because since our last meeting, we've had the worst fear come to pass. So on Tuesday, August 5th, Savannah, Devin's girlfriend, but we like to call her his wife, was attacked by the aggressive dog from the Red House. Roughly around 3:30, Savannah and her mom were returning from a day out with their children, which was also Bree's birthday. The dog jumped the fence and attempted to get into the SUV. Savannah quickly covered the doorway and the children with her body and was bitten several times in the back of her left thigh. Having to be taken away in an ambulance, Cammie, her mom, took the children to the hospital as Devin was rushing home to help. Any of us that got the text message on our group chat left work to see what we could do to come help in case somebody else needed to get to the hospital and somebody needed to watch the kids. Family members started arriving and was confronted by the squatters and started yelling and blaming the issues on us, not on them, which we have videos of where they were trying to run their bikes through where we were standing. The dog was not taken away by animal control, but was put on quarantine. The dog has been outside the house during the day. Over the weekend, there was 2 animal control officers showed up. While James was talking to them out front, the girlfriend, James's girlfriend, let the dog in the side door, which the side door is not visible from the front door, so they did not see this happen. According to the paperwork that was put on their door, the day that the incident happened, it says facility used for confinement shall ensure that a escape-proof environment subject to unannounced periodic spot checks by the animal control officers or local health officer. The animal shall be confined inside the structure, not on a chain or in a fenced yard. Diagrams for the construction of a cat or dog isolation cages are available as such as recommended. The animal shall not leave the premises for any reason. The animal shall not come in contact with any other human or animals for the 10-day period except for the primary caretakers. Since then, they have moved in 2 more people. They have had numerous visits by a gentleman on a bike, which we have gotten the license plate numbers for. In the process of all this, I have now become their primary target because I live directly across the street and I have full view of their house. I take my dog for a walk in the morning and before dusk. A female in that house has now started recording me as I leave my house. On Tuesday, I found a set of license plate frames on my porch, which is the day this incident happened, which I did not pay attention to until we made sure Savannah was okay. So we found out that there was James came over and dropped them on my porch. So it has prompted me to buy a camera, spend money that I don't have. And as all this has also caused not just physical and mental anguish for all of us and myself and my dog, but it started to become financially because we're going out buying cameras, we're doing this, doing that. Whatever's going on, we need help doing this, and we don't want to take this into our hands, but it seems like that's going to be the only alternative.
Thank you, ma'am. And I'm so sorry for your neighbor. So sorry.
And I present these pictures to somebody, I didn't print them off, but these are pictures that I have taken this morning.
Email those?
Matthew?
Email?
If you can email it to them, if you can email it to Matthew afterwards, and then he'll get it sent to us.
All right. My name's Devin Farr, 1349 Catherwood Drive. This is in response to 1353 Catherwood Drive. As Debbie said, our worst nightmares have finally came to fruition. We've complained about this house for the last 4 years with no help. A month before this incident, I reported that this dog tried to break through my backyard fence to get to my family and attack them before. Did anybody do anything? Nothing. They took the report, they showed it, and they went, oh yeah, there's a dog back there, no problem. Now this dog got out of the fence and attacked my family on our property, and nothing has been done. The only thing that we've been told is PD can't do anything, code enforcement's not going to do anything, animal control won't do anything after 20 emails of pictures and videos of them violating all their quarantine acts. The only thing we got back was, did you provoke the dog in any way? I want to ask you how my girlfriend